one up. And Avos, he's really slowed down by that tether, but he's still got sound available. Now he'll trigger it off, and they can't finish him off. This is the problem about Rage, even with the touch on maybe. Whoa, EGM! He's going on the bonus team. Getting back past the tier 1 tower. Takes a huge amount of damage for it. But they do finish off the offlane lifestealer.
I still have to say, though, that was a pretty long fight and a huge commitment just to chase him that far and even go for the tower dive after the fact. Killing Viper mid, though, this is one of those old school tri-lanes dodging each other situations, and speaking of trouble.
Yeah, Admiral Bulldog, he almost, well, Kuro's sitting up high for this one. Looking around, now the Hex to go up to start with an Admiral Bulldog. Kuro, he's going to follow up. Wait, that was a little bit off target. And the applause for a failed stun is actually coming from the crowd. I think we have a very, very biased crowd here.
A little bit. It's okay, though. It's fine. As long as you're a fan of Dota, you can be a fan of any team you want.
Interesting way of starting up this Tiny for Loader.
Oh, phase.
We get aggressive phase boot Tiny instead.
This used to be the standard, though, let's be fair.
True.
Before everybody started going Aghanims every single game, it was always phase drums, Yasha, and then maybe into Aghanims after that. But everyone would go for mass mobility and make sure that you can just chase anyone, because between the movement speed that you get from Bro and the fact that you'll have phase drums and Yasha, you're 522 when you're tethered. Easy.
Do you think that's because they're probably thinking they'll have to chase the Clinks down a lot, and maybe you'd want the speed rather than anything else? But they're not going to catch him anyway,
Well, being fast is pretty much always good.
Yeah.
There's not really a downside to being really quick.
Well, indeed.
But on the other side, like, you still got the Whistle's going to buff you up. So this is the reason why they stopped being done.
Do you think he still gets Axe later, though?
Oh, I'm sure he'll get Aghanims at some point. If he wants to make a transition into a carry Tiny that's going to be able to contest a Clinks and a Lifestealer, he will probably have to go Aghanims.
There's really no choice, Ben.
Yeah.
It is an essential here, essential item. How's Phonic doing? Mr. 31 for 11 down here on the bottom lane. He's got a lot of money. Like, he's got a lot of money.
Yeah, I think
to play
that's
around.
really dangerous, actually, just leaving him.
I wonder if he actually goes Midas before Orchid here.
I bet he does.
I think it's a little bit risky doing that if you're against a Wisp and a Tiny, because if you imagine buying a Midas first, by the time you have your Orchid, the Wisp and a Tiny will be able to relocate gank you. Like, you're not going to finish the item before that time. But if you go straight for the Orchid, at least it'll be close. Whereas you're investing the other 1,900 gold to make sure that you can get more farm later. I think it's a bit of a risky play if he does.
We're about to see a holy schlock coming towards the middle lane. S4, you're decent numbered, man. Hexed up, even Dream Calling, Chen Nuke. The Centaur just need to let up the stomp and just hits him down. So again, we see another rotation gank. EGM, whoa, what are you doing in this close? He's looking for the ball hit onto Kuro, who was at a 44 life points. And Dendy also not looking too healthy. So with EGM taking the entire aggro, he had to back up.
Dendy wasn't looking for a kill. He was like, oh man, it's 6 minutes in, I want the rune. And he manages to get himself a haste on top of that. So really nice movement continuing to come out from Navi, getting those kills on mid. That's one of the only things about Viper that is kind of not great, is he's kind of like a Shadow Fiend. But in this game, Navi actually have the potential to move, where yesterday when we saw Liquid play against Alliance's Shadow Fiend, they really couldn't move on the map. So I think that's the one biggest difference.
Just found EGM. I think he was moving up. He controlled that one. EGM's toast. Absolutely toast.
If he'd run towards the Tiny, I thought he could have tethered to the Tiny and got away.
Maybe. It's hard to say, though, because if you tether, there's a high likelihood that Dendy gets at least one more auto attack off, which is all he needed after the orb and the silence hit. So would have been hard to get away from that. And plus he had a haste, so yeah, I mean, even if he tethers to the Tiny.
There it is. It's the money hand.
Kind of felt actually weird too that Denny TP'd up towards that top lane. I'm wondering if he thought Horse was already level 6 when he did that. But he got lucky that he found Aya where he was. The initial objective probably was to try and kill off the Tiny.
Yeah. Well, killing a Tiny is still really hard if it's just a puck. He has 900 health even with phase boots. Like, how do you just go up there as a solo puck without even max waning riff and say, oh yeah, I'm just going to solo kill you?
Yeah. If you had a lifesteal that could infest in, they could just play piggyback on the back of the haster, and then it would have been a little bit easier for him. But it's still rough.
S4 is just not having the greatest time right now.
Admiral Bulldog hook shots in on the bottom lane, pops off the dust as well, so he can keep Phonic in here in the cogs, but Phonic at the same time, he's got a lot of life points up his sleeve. Admiral Bulldog's going to stick with him, he's ticking him down, but then there's your extra lifeline. This is why Navi will never pass up the Chen. There's always a little bit extra in case of tough times.
I don't think he needed that heal. Like, he would have probably lived either way.
Safety first.
He had a
Safety
death
first.
pack, so as long as he found a creep and death packed it, the battery assault would have worn off anyway. So he actually didn't need that.
Either way,
It's still nice to have.
Yeah, it's nice.
You're not going to say, no, don't heal me.
unless later on, dude, there's just like that moment, like 30
Yeah,
seconds
let's
from
wait
now,
and
it's like,
see.
damn it, puppy, can't you heal me?
See.
Give me mana. Kuro, oh, okay. Kuro was stalking him before, and now he'll get the Hex, the stun, and then there should be Chen Nuke. Nah, just a right click from Puppy. Finishes the job, and it
This
goes
is
forward.
exactly what happened in the last game. The constant rotations, Chen all over them. I guarantee we'll see Chen banned in the next draft.
Toby brought up a really good point, though, is like the lack of vision on Alliance is really what's making this such a hard game for them. They've been forced to ward the high ground on their side of the river mid just to protect S4. The problem with that is they still don't have any way of seeing smoke ganks. So any time that there's any movement so far, it's pretty much been a smoke.
Yeah.
They're going to lose this mid tower shortly. They got Saturn regeneration, toughness aura, as well as the undead army they can raise, which is now raised. And S4 and Arcade, like, what are they supposed to do against this? It's difficult enough to push it down. There's no backdoor regeneration. It's just that one little creep that's going to be there. And then tornadoes. They can't come in close. If they do, they die. And Avorst, he's just sitting around next to Loda, but Loda can't bring down this top tower fast enough. He went hand of Minus to start with as well, so there's just no extra moolah like going into items yet that help him to push. It's just into more money. And now S4, well, there's a TP coming in towards that mid, and it's Admiral Bulldog. Hook shots in towards Kuro, and Kuro, he just being sent back to base by Chen. He's got up almost everything he's got, and now, oh, he didn't get back in time. That was a really, really long time, but they still got the kill on the clockwork. More support coming in. Funnick looking at S4, and wow, those searing arrows. Level 4 really hurts. While Wild Wings start attacking on Crystal Maidens. It still leaves us a 1-1 trade, but Denny wants more. DD Rooney's already used that Dream Call in the mid-fight. Try and chase down Arke. That one right click. Oh, 93 life points. One more attack from Denny. He's got the orb available as well. Arke will not be able to live through this one. The question is if Denny can be overcommitted. And now the orb, he got avalanche stun, still able to face shift himself away, and now TPing away. S4 can't reach him. Oh. They also can't see him. That's why they're tethering it up, rocking it up, and it's all too late. Denny's away.
Really nice play by Dendy. And now, things get a little bit harder for Alliance. Losing the mid-tier 1 is huge because Navi now have a lot more room for Funnick to farm especially, and he doesn't have to worry about getting ganked as often when Alliance are the one who are trying to get map control back, right?
Yep.
Loda has decided to go for a Midas, which means that there's still going to be some time before his hero really comes online. And even if Wisp hits 6, there's not a whole lot of durability on this Tiny right now. This is not a Treads, Aghanims, Rush Tiny, or what we saw Era do yesterday, which was Treads into drums, and they're coming to gank him right now.
Yeah, Loda, while you farm up, you're vulnerable, and that's why Dendy and Avorst, they just move him. It was a slow infest, and now Dendy's going to look for another one. EGM, the Dream Call, he'll take the stun, and Dendy gets himself a double kill. This rotation in Game 1 and Game 2 is perfect. The hook shot's going to miss, but in the meantime, S4, he's getting nuked down by Funnick. He is just hitting everywhere on this map, and hand of Minus use.
I gotta say, looking at the game so far, Navi versus Alliance, I had my doubts about Navi. I think they've pretty thoroughly put my doubts to rest, considering how well they're playing right now. Just the rotations, everything that they're doing is pretty much spot on. I even kind of favored Alliance's draft in terms of what kind of potential they had for the laning phase. But every time I think about the lanes, Navi destroy them because of their rotations. It's all about the supports.
He's coming out. Danny doesn't have Dream Call though, but there is the army, and there's a troll trap to go off if Danny wants to try and silence. No, he won't. They don't know the support that's there. Actually, yeah, they don't. That Observer Ward's an interesting spot. It semi checks up to the tier 2 tower, but doesn't see the deep movement and rotation up towards that top lane. Still want to point out 2-man, 12 minutes in. No ulti for the Wisp yet. They don't even have that global presence from the IO.
Yeah, 12 minutes in and no relocate is not really the start that Alliance were looking for. And the more time that goes on, the closer Funnick gets to his Orchid.
Bulldog's dead.
Yeah.
He's down too far.
Maybe.
A couple of searing arrows and a finger of death will be more than enough.
It's going to be hard to kill him, though. He's sitting in a really hard spot to engage on.
He knows what's up, I think.
If they had a creep wave, it would have been fine. And Kuro's watching him move back and forth. With a Blink Dagger in, they've got Dream Call available as well. They may not even have to use the Finger of Death for this one, but we'll see if the committal's going to be there. Hex, follow-up stun. Yep, they don't even need the Finger. Admiral Bulldog's just dead for the burst damage from the orbs. And then a Vorce comes up towards top lane too. He's got support by a double Centaur and Troll army. If you get trapped, you were sitting there for a very long time.
Was it Hani yesterday we saw on the Lion?
Yeah, he played it mid against OD, I believe.
And he fingered every single time for the kill secure. This time Kuroki's playing like a true support.
Well, I think it's just knowing when you have to use it and when you don't have to use it.
Always have to use it, Andy.
When we saw
Always
Funnick last game, when he didn't Doom Loda, because he knew that Loda was going to die anyway, it's like having that kind of, you know, that kind of sense to say, okay, well, I can just save it for later. Especially because that ability is such a long cooldown at level 1, it's 160 seconds. So being able to hold on to it is always nice.
Maybe once he hits level 2, he'll start zapping people.
Yeah.
RK and S4 are trying to get some kind of trade-off right now. They've lost all their tier 1 towers, and they haven't claimed a single one off Navi just yet. And with a catapult, maybe they can dish out some kind of damage to mid. But look where Funnick and Kuro are. They're sitting just back behind the tier 1 tower. There's already scribbles going across that middle lane. And that was coming out from Kuro just saying, like, can we gank this one up? Should we push top lane? Denny Orb trick. Now going to be done if he gets his timing right, which he does not. Orb trick failed. But we have Orchid now fully finished up on the Clinks, and the Dagon was purchased up as well for Puck.
Pretty aggressive choice, but considering how Navi have been playing this, I think it's fine. You can just go in, burst a hero down. Like, even S4 doesn't even have 1,000 health right now. So everyone on the side of Alliance is relatively squishy. The highest HP is the Tiny. It's got like 1,100, maybe a little bit more. But everyone else, Dendi can almost solo kill, which is a really big problem. Because if you give Dendi that kind of presence on the map to say, if you catch anyone, you get a free kill, Dendi's going to go to town.
Yep. And we've hit that point again. Mech is up. Hand of God is up. Navi can just 5-ball this now. Like, Tiny is able to get himself one tower down the bottom lane. At least EGM now has relocate, so they have the option to remain down here until the rest of the Alliance, like the 3-man of Alliance, is ready to fight for this tower trade. They don't want to go up towards this top lane. The tier 2 tower is already forfeit. There's no point wasting the fortification. Alliance has really been backed into a corner, tower by tower. And there's very little they can do about it until Loda is ready to fight. And he's still another 2,000 gold away from being even slightly ready to fight.
This is one of the first games where I feel like a team is actually being punished for going Midas.
Yep.
And Loda is the perfect example because he went Midas, but he didn't get Treads, so he doesn't really have a healthy stat gain right now. He's got the point booster now, which is good, because it gives him the extra 200 health. But the biggest issue that he was running into is he can't actually live through a Lifestealer rage. And that's why people were typically going for the Tread Strums into
bottom lane. Well, they should be able to pick up Funnick right now. They do so. Having to use almost every single ability. At the same time, Crystal Mania gets sniped off by the DD Puck in the middle lane. And the tier 2 tower goes down. And while Whisper Tiny are on the bottom lane, the middle lane can just push in. It won't bring down the tier 3 tower. I thought that he will throw at least one DD hit up the hill, but it's a 1-for-1 trade. Better trade though for Alliance. But they lose the tower, so not a better trade for Alliance.
Yeah, I was going to say, better trade for Navi for sure. Getting the tier 2, even though Funnick dies, it's still good, because Funnick had finished his Orchid anyway. So.
Look at Dendi already on the hunt again. At least these wards now up for Alliance. They can see what's coming.
Yeah. Gem and smoke on Chen.
It's super aggressive warding too, which I actually do like, because it's one thing to ward up your side of the map, but when you're warding up your side of the map, when you're already really far behind in terms of map control, you say, well, okay, great, we can see them in our woods and we still can't do anything about it. But when they're in their woods, you can potentially set up ganks, look for other people on the map who might be isolated, and then try to use the Wisp relocate to get yourselves back into the game.
So I've got a question for you, Andy.
Okay.
You generally say that Alliance are a team that leave themselves with heroes that give them a chance to come back, like comeback heroes.
Right.
Do you see Alliance as having, in this lineup,
You'll have to wait a
against what
second.
Navi have got?
Loda, dead. Orchid, first Centaur stomp, second Centaur stomp. EGM tethered into this now, so he might even be in a little bit of trouble if Funnick wants to try and commit to this. And there's already one arrow, and now you see how much damage Clinks is able to deal to that. Lion just nukes down the Crystal Maiden on the way in, and EGM is able to tether back out to Admiral Bulldog. But RK, he really wished he didn't come in to plan, like, even to help then.
As far as what you were saying, Ted, when it comes to, I think you were trying to say, do Alliance have a chance to come back?
just that normally they leave themselves that chance. Like
Right.
they've got the heroes or they've got the opportunity.
That's
because
where
they win
that's
lanes
what the
and
Wisp
stuff.
Tiny is supposed to be.
Yeah.
Because at any point in the game, I think it was either No Tail or Arrow who said it during the winners interview yesterday, that combination can at any point in the game get a tower.
Yeah.
You just relocate, overcharge, Tiny with Aghanims, kill a tower. And that's what allows you to come back, because even though Alliance...
We're salty.
relocate.
We're going bottom lane. They're looking for a Vost. Admiral Bulldog. Yeah, she tries to block him in with the cogs. And now Loda, in she swings. A Vost. He needs to try and invest. Jumps back out again. He needed a dire creep wave to help him through this one. Funnick, though, just destroys the EGM and then goes through one. Goes through
He's gonna get a-
He's going to get triple kill.
Craggy!
He needs to slow him. Run faster. Loda turns on his tail. He sees Kuro coming in. The avalanche as well as toss hand and goal be used. And Loda triple kill.
Double
Leave
crack.
it. There it is. Tiny gets killed by the catapult, the most powerful creep in the game.
He got Craggied so many times.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That would have been an easy triple otherwise.
Then he just also jumps in on the Crystal Maiden. There's that Dagon going to work. It is not a fun place for a hero that's so fragile as Crystal Maiden. It's the second time that's happened now. You've got Finger of Death and you've got Dagon to deal with.
Navi are looking like the dominant Navi of old.
Yeah,
that I
they
think
really
everybody...
are. They haven't brought this yet in the Dream League, I don't think. They've lost some games I didn't think
They
would.
haven't played this well in the entire tournament.
Yeah.
They're playing the aggressive style. This is what you were asking
Yeah,
for,
yeah.
period. This is like Dendy Puck jumping around the map. The rotating
Absolutely.
support.
Don't give
looking
him
to kill.
DK, don't give him Arizona. You give him someone like Puck and he's making it happen.
Yep.
To take nothing away from, Funix Clicks is just wrecking them.
I just love the fact that we're having a game right now which isn't like Weaver farming on the safe lane kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
like a Voss, the number one player is in the slot number one for Navi. He's gone on the off lane both times, and to a point where they've almost sacrificed his level of farm. Like we just now have another armlet coming up, and it's almost exactly the same timing as game number one that Lifesteal is able to pick this up. It's taken him just sub of 20 minutes to get that armlet up, and now he's ready to fight. But the playmakers, the space makers, it's really come through. First the Doombringer, now the Clinks as well, but it's the combination with Denny's rotation that helped with even a Vorst. It's just good rotation, it's good movement, and it's being active on the map as opposed to sitting back and farming. That's what punishes the Midas.
See, I think that was the hidden message that Puppy was saying the other day, is that Havost is 4. It's not that he's 4th best, it's that he plays 4 now because he doesn't actually get a safe lane. He just gets put in the off lane every single game.
Next level. Kuro, he has got so much money. He's got a blink dagger with a point booster. He could just jump and initiate and then allow Dendy to come in and just nuke down whoever he wants. And Dendy, while he did start up on the Dagon, I got a funny feeling he got a call from the Mon Capitan to go inside the Vice now. So they had a Hex towards the mix. Roshan's also just been started up. The Rocket will scout it out. But Funnick right now is a Lifesteal sitting inside of him. He's ready just to nuke down anybody they can find. And Avors is playing no hand starter.
It's really nice to be able to just take a stretch in the middle of a game and be like, yep,
Yeah.
just gotta wait for the fight to start.
Just having a snack. Is he? No, I don't even, no, he's got his hands on the keyboard.
He's ready to pounce at any moment.
And there goes Roshan in favor of Navi. And now the hunt will start up. The hunt for one hero to pick off that makes the push into the base actually possible.
I don't even know if they need to get a pick, that's the thing. Between Funnick's damage and a Chen, I think they could just siege the tower. Like, do they really need to make sure they get a pick?
Sorry, I just saw him just walk straight up next to an observer ward. I thought instantly
Yeah.
Denny was going to jump and kill. It's all right.
No, it's fine. I actually would have thought that too, especially since he has the Aegis, but he's just gonna wait for the Hex. I think it's fine. You get another 300-400 gold and you'll have a Hex. And since the Tiny doesn't have a BKB yet, he's still very susceptible to just getting blown up. Even though he has a lot of health, he still has only 7 armor.
Wow.
And if he gets silenced, he just dies.
S4's gonna be careful. Poppy starts off with the nuke and sends the Centaurs forward as we just see strafe searing arrows going into now a fortified tower. While top lane, at least Alliance are getting something up here. At the same time, there's that jump that I was talking about on the Crystal
There was a
Maiden.
kill.
Destroys him on the top. Loda will take this top tier 1 tower. At the same time, though,
That's
he
only
knows
their
he has to come
second.
back in a moment.
That is only their second tower.
But at least it's something. At least
Yeah,
it's something.
it is something, but
They're using the strength of what Wisp and Tiny is capable of doing. Funnick, though, just stands on the high ground. With no fortification left, Alliance need to fight this, and they need to fight this now. BKB from Funnick, and wow, S4! He buys back, Clockwork jumps in, the Cogs of B there, Avorce jumps out as well, but Clockwork, he almost disintegrates. Kuro got a double stun on the TP in, with the Wisp holding Lotus having his mana drained out, and now he's in a lot of trouble. He basically doesn't have enough for a combo anymore. Then Lotus will just get nuked down by Poppy. It's a double kill for him. Kuro jumps in, stun over on EGM. He already got the perfect double stun. The arrows are flying up there, searing, just burning EGM down. And S4, at least you say they have 12 one charges. Dendy, he's going to try and fight this one out a little bit longer. But now being sent back to base by the Chem. He's okay. 21-4, Alliance have basically been ravaged in their own home.
Things looked very difficult for Alliance. I mean, what else can you say?
Yeah.
Navi, the first 2 games have just been all over the place in terms of aggression. Their drafts have been solid. I think Alliance drafts continue to be fine too, but it's just always come down to the laning phase right now. Like, who gets the advantage during the early game? You look at Viper versus Puck and you say, well, the Viper should pretty much win that matchup. But Dendy was still doing well in the lane even prior to S4 getting ganked. So I feel like Navi are just playing on another level today.
Yeah. The only thing they're really going to be careful about is that the fact that Avorce, oh man, he's going to try and go on EGM. Admiral Bulldog, he baited out the first hook shot. They toss him back. They're looking for the Cogs, and now the hook shot actually flies astray. But Avorce, he's in way too deep. The Meg charge keeps EGM alive. They throw him an Urn as well. And Funnick again will trigger the BKB while Dendy, he is very, very deep in here. He had a little bit of a frostbite in the tail of that orb out. The rocket will fly up too, so they've got the vision of him. Unfortunately for Alliance, there's no hook shot, but Lotus coming in. He's got Avalanche and Toss, and they need to just keep chasing Dendy further up. He's got Blink Dagger and TP, but TP 4 seconds away. Aegis the Immortal is also up his sleeve, but with the Toss, S4 throwing very deep in there, slowing Dendy down again. The Spirits are going to keep flying out. The Rocket Scouts Dendy out, and they need this done, or the damage, and they don't have either. They attempted the Toss, but I don't know.
That was awkward. Anyway.
Was that even like the starting toss to throw him back to the well? Doesn't really work like Fudchuk does it.
It looked like he just threw him to the creep wave.
Yeah.
Maybe he was just like, I give up. I'm not going to be able to get a stun.
But this is one of those things where Alliance can work their way slowly back into this game. The Tiny is getting bigger. They can snipe off towers. If they're not even going to snipe off heroes, they can just relocate and just try and take out these towers once Loader gets a little bit more farm up his sleeve. I almost want to see him do something, because I was watching Alliance, like in their one practice game they played before they started today, Loader was actually playing the Tiny.
Yeah.
He was actually practicing on the Tiny, and he went something which I'm wondering is even, maybe is worthwhile. The Mask of Madness is something he did attempt. Because you can basically destroy the towers quickly. May not help you completely during the fight.
Yeah, no,
that attack speed you will need during this fight. They need to kill off Navi quickly.
I think
really
if he mastered Madness in a fight, I think that would be a death sentence.
Well, if he had a BKB, he would still take a lot of damage from the Clinks and the Lifestealer, but in terms of backdoor, Mask of Madness is really nice.
Yeah.
Because you can just pop it when you relocate in, kill the tower, get out right. But you don't ever want to take an engagement with a Mask of Madness because you just make a sad face as soon as somebody hits you.
Yeah.
It's really painful.
Denny's about to hit somebody. S4 uses that Hex. Dream calls up on both EGM as well as S4, but the tether is there. And then the hook shot in from Admiral Bulldog buys him that space, but Puppy in the meantime is just killing off Loader. Admiral Bulldog and RK, again another double stun, and just lets Funnick dish out the damage. Navi is the one who gets the kill on Dendy, and then they just go in deeper. And GG, game number 2. It was only a matter of time when we get our second game of Navi and Alliance. GG, half an hour mark. Navi's looking aggressive and strong.
I want to say this, too, about the series thus far. The games have been short.
Yep.
Like, really short comparative to what we've been seeing through the rest of the ASUS ROG DreamLeague. Now, during the group stages, there were a couple of really short games, but ever since we got to the playoffs, it's been all like 35-minute plus games. Because like you were saying earlier, there was a lot of weavers, there was a lot of just, I want to try to farm and then make my way back into the game because one team is behind and the other team, well, can't really crack the base. These last 2 games, Navi have come into it with Chen twice in a row. Wouldn't be surprised to see it banned next game. And they just get advantage from Chen ganks, and then they just steamroll towers and get all the map control.
Yeah.
Remove that hero, definitely.
Yeah, Chen.
I actually, you said you're okay with Alliance's draft, Andy. I disagree. Maybe I'll save that for after the break so people can stay tuned to see how I'm going to completely embarrass myself with some amazing analysis. We'll do that, Bruno. Should we get a break? You okay?
Yeah, let's break this.
Break this. We'll come back and then we'll break it down. So see you in just a moment here at the ASUS ROG DreamLeague. All right, we're back, and I would say after a reasonable break, and I think that will actually favor Alliance to have some time to talk amongst themselves about what they want to do. And Andy, I wanted to discuss what's happening here, in my opinion, okay?
Okay.
So you're going to have to correct me throughout the whole discussion. And Ted, side with me if you can.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I haven't heard what you said yet.
I know. I already
prepping
know
the
it's going to
ground.
be wrong.
He's just preparing the ground.
Okay, so you got 2-0 now to Navi. The last game, personally for me, it was the draft, in the sense that a Wisp and Tiny is nice, but only if you can just constantly keep farming that Tiny throughout the game. But to be able to do that, you need a mid who is actually going to create space. Viper doesn't have a lot of movement. He doesn't create a lot of space. He's kind of like, when he's in a team fight, he's okay, but the trouble is when he's in a team fight and maybe your Tiny wants to farm, you're backed up by a Clockwork, which would get melted, and also a CM, which will melt as well. So I personally felt that their lineup was not good whatsoever. The only thing going for them was the Wisp Tiny, but everything else didn't synergize. Now, the biggest problem is maybe not what they're picking, it's what they gave away to Navi.
Yeah.
For starters, Kurokai, you put him on a support that has anything timing and control, like a Rubik, and there you saw a Lion. He's the best on those kind of supports. It's all about his timing and positioning. That's what he excels at. Puppy, you give him a Chen, it's a big problem because his rotations, you've seen the first 2 games, have essentially made him useful. And then outside of that, they trust now Funnick enough to give him a Clinks, and it just all kind of comes into place. So this is what I want Alliance to do going into the next game. And if they take my advice, Ted, they're going to win.
Okay, sir.
Firstly, you remove the Chen. Like, just take it out.
I agree 100% with that. Puppy was, in my opinion, was MVP of that last game. Not just his movement, but his stuns, the creeps he got, the way he used it. I thought it was superb.
Yeah, and so you remove the Chen, because even if there's an Enchantress, it's not so dangerous. But what you do, if you're Alliance, if someone wants to throw constant aggression at you, if someone wants to be like, we're into fighting and we're into rotation, you pick up a Bounty Hunter. Because a Bounty Hunter will allow you to actually have some surprise elements to your fights, and if there's any kind of exchange, normally you come out even if you've maybe lost an extra hero, if you can get a track kill. And if they remove the Chen and there's an Enchantress in the game, the Bounty Hunter will essentially can be annoying to that hero that Puppy will play. And if you put Puppy on his kind of Alchemist and stuff, those rotations and how he goes into a mid-game is nowhere near as strong as the Chen. So Alliance for me, remove the Chen, look for a Bounty, because I think Navi will still go aggressive.
Yeah, I agree with the Chen removal. The whole draft for last game, I think they wanted to pick the Viper because it synergizes well with heroes like Clockwork, and having a Tiny relocate, you have like 2 really beefy heroes who can be in the front line, so maybe overly concerned about what their team synergy was supposed to be and not really worrying about the laning phase as much. Because way back 6.78, when everyone was dodging tri-lanes, it was really common to just ward for mid in the other area because you know your tri-lanes aren't going to meet each other, but Alliance didn't do that. So S4 kind of just got camped mid for the first 10 minutes of the game, and he wasn't able to do much off of it. If you just even have one support leave top, because you don't need the Wisp and the CM both there, you could reasonably keep S4 safe for a longer period of time. One Frostbite stops a Chen gang, 100%. So I feel like they obviously could have played it better, but yeah, what you said is also pretty true as well.
All right, well, we'll see what's going to happen. But to get some more insight for some people here at DreamHack who've turned up live for the winter event, we're going to go to Bruno, who's probably, I hope he's found a male companion, because it's just going to get weird otherwise.
Thank you, James. And here I am with my two of my favorite persons in Dota. And I will start with ladies first. Here, straight from Australia, Anuxi, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
Good. This is your first time in Sweden, right? So tell me 2 things that you can identify Sweden with.
Saffron, scroll, rum and raisin cake, and cold weather.
That's pretty good, I think. So you've been watching the matches right now. Navi is winning very strongly. And the question is, can Navi make it 3-0?
I'm hoping not, so I get to see more Dota, but I do want to see Fnatic versus Navi in the finals. They're my 2 favorite teams.
We'll see what happens. And also next to me, if you're talking about love, we also have the loveliest player in the scene. Sam, how's it going?
Hey, dude.
I love that. So, didn't go so well today, but you at least get to sit here with me right now and watch a couple games. And Navi is defeating Alliance, maybe avenging you so far. But do you think Navi...
So,
Well, yeah, but you forget what happens 2 games ago. So Alliance is now the evil guys for you. So the thing is that you think Alliance can actually come back right now. And be careful what you say, because you have a lot of suites and some are really, really big. So you have to be careful. Can Alliance win versus Navi?
Yes, but their drafts have been quite questionable the past 2 games, I think.
Yeah, so what do they need to pick? They can listen to you, so yeah.
I've talked a lot to S4 about this, but he doesn't like picking heroes that go mid, that rely too much on winning the lane versus Navi. Because A, the pressure they put on mid is way more than every other team. Puppy was always in the fog, and he'll send a Chen creep or something mid, and that was exactly what happened that game. And Viper is a hero that can't bounce back at all. So I think a hero that maybe suits his team more, and then just, I don't know, these Chen rotations are like what James has been talking about, are just winning them the game. It's just Puppy is Bren, Chen, or Enchantress every game in this tournament. So I think maybe ban one of those 2, but he's going to get one of them no matter what. So maybe the idea that James also said about the Bounty Hunter is really good, because Bounty counters Chen quite hard.
You don't have to say that James is right, because he won't stop talking about that all day. So now to wrap up, and then we're going back to the guys and back to the game, but since I know you like most of the pro players and you're kind of like a fan girl sometimes, I'm going to... You have like Navi and Alliance are 2 teams that you really like, so I'm going to go on for you to make a dream team. I'm going to make you pick players from both teams, right? So we start with the 5 position, and you have to pick between one or the other. That doesn't mean that you don't like the other player, but just... So, okay, for the 5 position, we'll start with Kuro versus EGM.
Kuro.
Ake versus Puppy.
Ake.
Bulldog versus Fanic.
Bulldog.
Dendi versus S4.
Dendi.
And to carry the team, James or Bruno?
Bruno.
Okay. Okay. I just want to say, Sam, favorite person now in Dota 2. Anuxi, never buying any of your items again. That's what's happening here. and one day, Anuxi, I will take down Bruno and win your love in Void versus Wind Ranger game now. So we'll see if that's going to happen. But yeah, Bruno actually does play, I think, a better carry than me, though. He's pretty suited to that. So let's go into take some look at the highlights from last game. And we can see here, there's heroes.
Pavos getting caught out. I mean, he had some pretty nice jukes. This is the point where Funnick comes in and he's like, oh yeah, you're gonna die, but I'm just gonna kill everyone. And then suddenly Loda just pulls out the most ridiculous craggy RNG I've ever seen. Wait for it, there's one. Comes over to the side. Loda comes back down to try to combo him later, and he gets double craggied after this. Loda still dies, but it was pretty funny to watch Funnick trying to auto.
Yeah. This is almost the point when you realize with a Vorse dying, just the level of sacrifice that Navi was they accepted. They accepted. The Vorse will die, so let's just make it that way, and then Funnick will carry. We accept it that way.
It's like they've evolved. If you think about Fnatic, right? Trixie feeds a lot.
Yeah.
You know, everybody, Trixie feed. They don't actually directly get kills off of his feed a lot. But Alliance are like, if Havos feeds, we can actually clean up now. So now they're like evolving the feed strategy.
Well, there we go. We got another clip as well, just to take a look at, and it really is all about Navi, and you can see just how dominant they are at the later stages of the game. Even when Bulldog goes in, he knows he can't stay after a hook shot. And Puppy, these creeps and his micro throughout the game was absolutely amazing. I think at one point, Toby mentioned when they relocated into the fight, he had double Centaur stun.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable.
It was the stun from Kuro. It hit both Tiny as well as Wiz absolutely perfectly the second that fight started. It was,
All right. So I believe we might be already in the game, but
yes, we are, James.
Yes.
I know. Find it very interesting.
Yes, you'll find it very, very interesting.
Okay.
You're gonna get off camera and just go.
Okay. Well, like ex-pro here. Come on, guys. Not for Dota, obviously. I suck
at the same time, you might cry because you were half wrong as well.
Damn it. Well, that's all right. And I know that, Toby, you actually spoke to Navi prior to them going back into this game. So you've got some information for the bans and picks as well about some what you got some inside info. So we'll send it to the game, and then we'll let you tell the story. So, all right, we're going to go into the match. It could be the last one for Alliance if they don't win. Best of luck to them. But, of course, Navi as well. May the better team win. Good luck to both.
third game in the series is about to start. Navi currently 2 games up over Alliance. James, he wanted the bounty hunter. He's going to get it.
Yeah, but he was wrong about the Chen being banned out the stage. So
I honestly thought they would ban Chen. I was thinking to myself, Puppy has been playing out of his mind the last 2 games, but letting that go is ballsy.
See, I sit on the other side of the fence of this one. I say, you take out Chen, then Puppy will just take... The hand of God wasn't really changing much at the end. The sandbags, like most of them actually failed to save people at the end of the day. It wasn't the real big thing that you were searching for. You would still get what Puppy wanted, which was rotating control in other lanes from either the Chen, the Enchantress, or even to a point the Enigma. He can do all of those and still farm up inside the jungle and have no problems whatsoever. So, yeah, I didn't see the Chen getting banned out from this stage. The ET and the Lifesteal are more important for S4, and I'm 100% with him. And I didn't actually have insight into the drafts, by the way. It's just the fact that I was finding out about just how Navi are feeling today, and they did have a lot of sleep, but they're actually still running on American time. So that's the reason why they were here so early in the morning, is because they're still flying on MLG time and they're having some real troubles. Like, they're going to bed really early, but they're also waking up bloody early as well. So it's a bit of a problem for them.
It could have actually worked in their favor, though, because I think it's, what, like a 7 or 8 hour time difference between Columbus time and what it is here. So they could have just come in super early and practiced because they knew they were going to play the first series. Now, it could be bad later on because then they're going to play another best of 5 when they're going to be exhausted. So, unfortunately, that might not go as well. But currently, they're on top of their game at the moment. Like, you can't say anything else. So
they're looking great. They're playing Navi-style Dota, which I haven't really seen in a very, very long time. Like, they're rotating, they're being aggressive. They understand the hand of Myers is part of the game right now. But at the same time, they're knowing the control of it. Like, that's what I really loved about the Doom pickup. They're getting a lot of money from Devour, they get a lot of money from Hand of Mice, but they also realize that at a certain minute of the game, Doombringer will come in and then provide this. So you got a solo kill on the Timbersaw as well. That also just buffed him up a hell of a lot more. But then you rotate in around the 18-minute mark during a big team fight, and I can't kill this. And that was the same thing with the Clinks. Like, Clinks comes in on the bottom lane. We saw was one of the first highlights we showed, and he just destroys absolutely everything. Navi are not only being aggressive, but they're playing to a game plan. They're playing to a game time. This is when we kill all. While Alliance, they seem to be running through the motions. That's why, like, the Bounty Hunter, I'm kind of happy to see him here, but I was hoping to see something else other than, like, the Crystal Maiden in this selection. I was hoping Alliance actually show us a little bit more about their kind of timing. Like, the Bounty is one part of it. What's the rest of it?
That's kind of been the question, right? Because they haven't gotten a foothold in any game. So we don't even know what their timing is supposed to be because they just haven't gotten anything. So now, Navi, we can talk about the Chen and the Clinks because the Chen has not been picked this early, I think, yet.
It's been second pick, I think.
Yeah, it's been second pick, but it's never been first pick.
No.
The one thing about Chen is that he is kind of predictable, but at the same time, Navi have been successful with it 2 times in a row anyway. So are we going to just see the safe lane Clinks again, and then see the Chen farming the woods with the Bounty Hunter against that? Because if it ends up going down that way, Navi are going to need a really strong support to help zone out the Bounty Hunter. Otherwise, like James was saying, you can actually get quite a lot as a Bounty Hunter in an off lane where you can just soak experience from the jungle. We haven't seen what the supports are going to be yet, but CM's already taken by Alliance. Rubik and Bane are banned on the side of Alliance, and then Lich and Veno are also taken out by Navi.
Give me a Visage, man. You got Clinks with Searing Arrows and the burst damage coming out from Visage. If you get some dust off, or...
There's no way to kill him, though.
True.
It's like you want a hero who, by himself, can effectively zone out the Bounty, which is hard to do because Bounty's a really high armor hero. You get a stout shield. He doesn't really take any damage. So that's why heroes like Veno are great. Because if you Gale, or you even get level 1 Poison Sting, like we've seen some people doing, you just throw out the autos and then the hero can't stay in the lane anymore. Visage doesn't really have that kind of oomph to him until he gets a little bit later into the game.
Interesting.
Let's talk about a different option right now. Like, Funning's had a lot of space to farm up, but we don't have a Life Stealer on the offlane anymore. So you don't have that magic community. Does Navi try and go like Weaver style and go offlane with Avors to give him some kind of escape mechanism, or is it too risky when you got something like a Crystal Maiden that could just come in and frostbite you and hold you there, and you lose that escape mechanism?
I think it could be worth it to go for something like a Weaver, maybe not this soon, But the Weaver is nice because Alliance's team don't have a lot of lockdown except for the CM, right? Like it's only the Frostbite.
Yep.
So between Clinks and Weaver, you have two very high physical damage dealers who, in all honesty, should never really get hit by even a call down, right? Like it's so easy to avoid that spell, especially as a Weaver. And then you have the capability of going to the mid-late game and having some kind of split push where right now Alliance don't, and they're just going to go Juggernaut. So this is turned into, I'm assuming that's an offlane Juggernaut.
Yeah, it will
And then it's going to be just get the healing ward. If we ever get an advantage in the game, it's going to be super easy to take Roshan because you'll have healing ward and a Chen. And on top of that, Juggernaut, he does really well against Gyrocopter because you can just go in and you can just spin to win.
Yep. Rocket Barrage is going to be damaging during that too, and he can break free of the Crystal Maiden as well. So it's a really good offlane pickup, and this is really like, it's very, very classic Navi. Like we're talking before, like the offlane live stealer was a little bit more old school from Navi, but the Juggernaut's also in that same scenario, and they don't really need much to go with the Juggernaut in the offlane. The Venomancer has been banned out already, but if you can find another like half-decent lane controller that can help set up for some things, then you're all good to go. The Bane was taken out, the Rubik was taken out. S4's already realized that the next key hero that's on the way, it belongs to Kuro. Like, his control right now has to be able to hold the gyro and hold the bounty hunter or somebody in position and just let Juggernaut go to absolute town. We finally see the Visage coming up here for Alliance. So, aggressive tri lane for Navi won't be that great until they can just rotate in with a champ, but nice dual lane, off lane, Funnick space up on the top lane, pick up a nice little hero that can tank up in the middle lane for Dendi. You can also initiate later on. Go to town.
I would actually like to see Alliance go aggressive here. Just because that aggressive tri-lane, Visage, Gyro, Crystal Maiden, dead hero. Like if you catch anyone.
But Navi can dodge it. Like if they throw Juggernaut up on that top lane, like you're talking about dead hero, Juggernaut just spins if he's up there. They can just rotate the lanes out, and if Clinks is up there, he just holds inside of Invis. We actually get Leshrac pick up here from Navi, and this will now be a safe lane.
That's a lot of push, isn't it?
Yeah,
Holy cow.
this is Healing Ward and Edict with a Chen army behind
And
you.
Clinks. Clinks push as well. I mean, they got a lot of tower push.
Basically, the way that I see it is Alliance want to meet the Clinks in lane. Like, they don't want to let the Clinks get free farm. So that's what you mean typically by saying, I want to see them go aggressive, because you would assume, under most circumstances, that the Chen's going to be in his woods. And Puppy started in his woods every single game, even the ones where he decided to just walk bottom because he realizes, hey, I can't really reliably gank the lane that I'm next to, so I'll just go to the other side of the map. Sure, they can rotate out, but Chen is one of the riskier heroes to move around a lot with because his creeps aren't really that fast. And he kind of is that hero who needs to get into a position where other supports don't have to worry about moving a whole army with him. So it's kind of a bit more of a hassle.
Can I ask a question, Andy?
Yeah.
Do you think that, well, Dandy hasn't picked his hero yet, obviously. Do you think this could be a Pudge game?
It could be a Pudge game. We haven't seen what mid Alliance is going to field yet, and that actually gives you an advantage in picking your mid, because it basically says, all right, if we don't pick something like a Puck, then we know that Navi could run a Pudge.
I think they will pick a Puck here, though. It would be good initiation.
And Pudge is great for those slow siege
gone for
lineups,
Bat
because
instead.
if you imagine you walk up to the tower, right? You
Yeah.
have a full Chen army, you edict the tower and healing ward.
Yep.
The Pudge makes the other team have to stand so far away
yep.
that you can't. Ted, you're like a genius.
I know, sir.
I want to see him pick it now just for you.
I'm scared.
I'm kind of waiting for the Magnus, though. Ever since the changes up on Magnus's turn rate up against Batrider, he's such a great hero up against that. And to buff up a Juggernaut to give him cleave as well when they're trying to push down towers, that's where my gut feeling's moving right now.
What about Pugna?
Pugna, I cannot remember the last time I saw Dendi play Pugna.
Do they?
We'll go Stocko standard. We go with a Puck for Dendi.
It's the same kind of a thing, though, with a Puck and a Pudge, that both the heroes have this very long area of influence. So, like, if you're anywhere near Dendi and he's playing Puck, you know you can potentially get coiled and they can just run you down past the tower. Pudge kind of offers you the same thing, but Pudge is a really weak laner in comparison to what a Puck is. So he's just like, I respect S4 enough to know that if I pick a Pudge against a Batrider, he's going to make my life awful. So I kind of have to go Puck here.
Okay, well.
I mean, I wanted to see the Pudge.
We're going to go into this game. This is Alliance's last chance, really, in some ways. If they lose this, well, no, it's not their last chance. But if they lose this game, they're not going to be in the final. I know we've got a big Swedish crowd here. Maybe we could get them to give a big pro-Alliance cheer to give them some kind of support in the game. Crowd, are you going to give Alliance a cheer? Yeah, that was easy.
That was easy. You don't really have to talk them into it. They're like, oh yeah, we want Alliance
like, oh,
to
cheer
win.
for Alliance. Yeah, no problem.
Well, let's see if they can be pushed forward by the crowd as we check out our lanes and where people are going to be running off to. So we will have a Vorst heading down south. So they're actually going to put a Vorst on the bottom lane and actually put him again on this almost sacrifice position. The middle lane will be played up by Dendi on his puck, Puppy Chen, Kuro Lashrak, and that leaves Funnick up as the Clink. So again, they're going to secure the farm over on the Clinks.
It makes sense, though. Clinks is the most farm-reliant hero on the team that they have.
If he never hits the Orchid timing right, then you miss his window of opportunity, and then S4 is going to be all over him.
Yeah, more or less. So Havost, like you were saying too, Toby, he can spin away from any aggression that comes. He can buy boots if he really wants to. It's not really going to hurt him or anything.
Look at him doing this thing again. Like, it's just a straight run down. I plant a ward, and then I run back to pick up my items.
It's just that little bit of security in saying we know exactly where the other team's going to be. Just being able to spot them out. And right now, Alliance, they do want to go aggressive. We can see GM is making the transition at least towards top at the moment. Maybe they're just...
There's a rotation change right now.
Yeah.
Navi realized that Alliance have been poked up and had a little bit of a look around. So yeah, Admiral Bulldog's going to head down south. The tri-lane for Alliance moves up towards the top lane. But Chen as well as Kuro are making a bit of a move down towards that bottom lane. I think Puppy wants to see at least if he can get into the Radiant side jungle as opposed to having to deal with him on the other side. He sees Admiral Bulldog, deny the rune. Illusion.
And that's annoying because Bulldog can actually block his own camps with that, which makes going into the jungle for Puppy a heck of a lot harder.
Yeah. Instead, though, he's using it to harass down Puppy. Now he's going to move him back.
He's going to move at least one, and that one is going to be able to block the camp, so it's like, yep, no Chen creep for you.
Is it going to get there? Yeah, it'll get there in time. If it sits on the little magic spot, this little box right here, he's just going to block up the harder camp. But there's an Alpha Wolf as well as a troll, a Berserker troll. He doesn't want that kind of troll.
Right.
He wants the other troll. Then Poppy's abandoned it. He's going back to his own jungle.
That's quite big, actually, isn't it? We've seen Puppy he loves wandering around. He loves to a quiet creature in their jungle. I wonder how that'll affect that initial rotation that he's been making.
Well, if it is actually a really big thing. Like, Pyrian, you're right. If you had a presence from a Chen harassing down the Admiral Bulldog, he's already going to have a rough time anyway up against Funnick. Even though Funnick at level 1, he didn't level up Searing Arrows. He went for the Skeleton Walk instead. So he's already feeling a little bit unsettled on this off lane anyway.
Yeah.
But if Puppy was down there, that bottom lane would be a completely different story right now.
I think, honestly, investing the Chen into that lane, if your only goal, really, is to make sure that Funnick gets farmed, then it's the right thing to do, which I think is pretty much what you guys are kind of hinting at. But for the most part, I think these lanes work out okay for Navi. Just because even if Funnick doesn't do great in his lane, Havost is going to be able to continue to find farm. And because of the fact that Puppy's now in their woods, suddenly the top lane feels a tremendous amount of pressure on the side of Alliance, because a Chen gank can pretty much get a kill.
A little bit of trouble. Frostbite, he gets the stun over on Loda, and then a horse tries to take up a little bit more of the damage. Loda won't get out of this one alive. The spin from a horse did a lot of damage, but a horse, he's in deep, and look at the silence of the damage. Alliance will open up with 2 heroes killed on this top lane. Kuro came back as quickly as he possibly could, but the damage was already done.
And there's that crowd getting behind Alliance.
That was some manly positioning from Kuro.
Funnick and Admiral Bulldog. You want man fight? They're doing it right now. Man to man. Mano a mano. Funnick, he goes invis. And Funnick, well, he's the man who actually has the vision. He's the only one with a sentry ward in this bottom lane. And now he's going to try again on Admiral Bulldog. You knew it was coming. And then Funnick, Admiral Bulldog, he's just at the range of the sentry. The range of the sentry literally arcs.
He would love that regen right now. Oh, that's nice for him.
That's just horrible.
Well, that's when you know things are going your way. That's back-to-back runes that couldn't be better for him.
That's an applause-worthy regen, yeah. I just wanted to say.
Yeah, he got a regen, hooray!
Dandy might be in a little bit of trouble right now. He's okay, though. He orbs back out again. But S4's forcing him out of that lane. This is always the power of the Batrider. Even with his nerf, once you get a couple levels, Navor's going to spin in. They got the Troll Trap, the Shrek follow-up done. RK will go down now. Loda also, Chen Yu got him. Kuro is able to be picked off. Loda, 7 HP! Oh. 7 HP! Puppy's last attack, it just wasn't enough. And Admiral Bulldog's playing on the bottom lane too. Funny's going to be really careful. As that Shuritos gets up in the levels, that last bit of burst damage might be enough to pick him off.
Bulldog's been doing a really nice job at effectively trading in terms of damage. He's gone for the 1-1-2, so he has an extra point in the Shadow Walk, so the bonus damage that you can get from that is actually 120, because the Fade Time allows you to hit twice, so you use your Invis, you immediately hit, you hit again, and Funnick can't trade with that because his base armor is not nearly as high, and Bounty Hunter also has a Stout Shield, so he's being pressured really heavily.
Life is just not fun for Rick Links right now. But at the same time, though, notice up in this top lane, like Kuro's now got to a point where he's like, crap, I need to start pulling. Puppy goes back into the jungle. He hasn't got really the same amount of like oomph to his farm as he had before with the rotations. Haven't seen him really max level up yet. Like, he's sitting at level 3 right now, but all the supports are. Everyone is basically even Stevens. The gold is in fact going the way of Alliance, but experience, there's not really much in it. Like, it's 1k and 300. There's not really that much to write home about.
The top lane, I think, is going to be indicative of how the game goes for either team. If they can get Loda or Havos dies 1 or 2 times, then the dynamic of the game changes pretty heavily, because once the tri-lane loses, it's like the tri-lanes of old. You put so much effort into winning one lane that if you lose it, suddenly it's very hard to come back, and then you're going to be relying on somebody like Dendi to kind of bring you back in.
That fight in the bottom lane. I want to watch top lane though, because with the Medallion of Courage up in this top lane, I'm just waiting for a kill from the Visage. But this bottom lane is just such a fun battle to watch. This Invis versus Invis. It's like normally get a game of cat and mouse. In this case, they're both the mice.
Well, eventually the Bounty Hunter will lose because Klinks will get level 6, and then his damage and health will be way too high for a Bounty Hunter to effectively trade with from that point. So the nice thing about that is that Bulldog doesn't have to stay in the lane. He can just go and do whatever he wants and then hope that they can maybe get some extra kills on top. But Ake might be a bit out of position here. Looks like there's no support though for Havos.
And Havos got no way to really keep up with him anyway.
Yeah.
If he had the phase boots right now, then top lane will be in a lot more trouble. But Havos is just... he hasn't got that much farm up just yet. Like his basic boots, he's got a stick charge up his sleeve too.
What's the plan with Juggernaut here? I mean, obviously you want to get him items and farm, but what are they hoping that he'll bring to the fight late game?
It's a lot about the healing ward, and it's also about the fact that he's one of the few heroes in the game that can freely go in no matter how much magic damage you have, right? Because if you spin, it's not just like a Lifestealer Rage where you're immune to magic. You're also doing a huge chunk of damage to basically everyone that you're near. So with that being said, there's not a lot of physical damage on the side of Alliance either until the Visage hits 6 and Gyrocopter starts getting some farm. So spin more or less makes him invulnerable during the early game stages, which is really nice if Navi were planning on using him as an offlaner, which I think was the original idea.
Right.
But this still works out because with Healing Ward, you can keep yourself in the lane pretty much forever, as we're seeing right now. Havos can even farm under the tower with it. And whenever they engage, Havos can always go in, every single time.
Right, we've got movement. We've got movement down to the bottom lane. Loda actually quite happily shows himself down here. So they've TP'd the Gyro out of the top. So now it's Loda going up against Funnick. So you called it perfectly, Draska. Like you said, like this lane's going to get really difficult for Admiral Bulldog once the levels came up on Funnick. So what do? Admiral Bulldog, well, he cops a searing arrow to the face now, realizing he's underneath the Sentry Ward. But if he keeps this track up on Funnick and then starts rotating around, Loda now could get some, well, even more farm down here on the bottom lane. He's already sitting at 32 for 10 at the second highest CSer on the board. But he knows where Funnick's moving. EGM will babysit him as well. And then S4's going to get some help in the mid by this roaming bounty.
I mean, Loda was already ahead on farm, and now they're going to protect him and give him even more farm. I think it's a good move.
It does let Loda get a bit more farm because Funnick's going to feel a lot of pressure in the bottom lane no matter what. Even with those sentries, he still feels uncomfortable, and in fact, he just leaves. He's like, yep, I don't want to be here. I might just go top and let Havos go to the lane that I was just in, because it's still going to be ridiculously hard to take down the Juggernaut, and that way it ensures that Funnick's going to be able to get to his Orchid more or less unobstructed.
Right.
Dire's bottom tower is under
Look at the support in the middle. They're waiting for the gang. Like, they know Bounty Hunter moved, so they stay smoked up. If Bounty is going to be on top of them, they'll be revealed anyway. The smoke is used as an indicator, in fact. But they actually, yeah, they got dust on the Lashrak, so they can see. In fact, there's the smoke being revealed. They should pop the dust right. Oh, wait, what?
Looks like they didn't. Well, maybe they realized it, but they realized it too late.
Unless that was actually just the end of the smoke timing.
I don't know if it was actually.
Yeah, I didn't check the timer on it.
They've been there a while.
Yeah, it could have just been the end of the smoke timing and then just really, really good luck for Admiral Bulldog.
Bulldog's heart started beating so fast. He's like, oh god, oh god. If he clicked on the Lashrak, would have been bad times.
That's like the fourth thing that's happened. Like Loda barely surviving, Bulldog getting 2 runes that he wanted, and then that. It's kind of going Alliance's way in this game. A lot of things.
Yeah, the regen rune was massive.
Yeah.
Dandy gonna start up a middle lane with a dream call. S4, he's just trying to fight this one out. The tracker says he'll have the movement speed to try and escape from this one, but maybe he wants to get a kill on Dandy, but Dandy actually phase shifts and orbs down into the river. While Kuro, now the dust will work on Admiral Bulldog. Looks for the stun, the edict damage. Now you'll see him, he's gonna get this one in time and he gets it.
Whoa.
Navi get both the bounty and the bat in this middle lane for no damage. No heroes lost.
That was such a fast reaction, too, from Navi. You said it earlier. They were just waiting for Admiral Bulldog to come out. So, again, the predictability of movement. When you're playing against really, really good teams, they just have that sense of, hey, the bounty's not in the lane anymore. Loda's down here farming. Clearly, this guy is going to try to gank mid or maybe top. But the thing is, top is so hard to kill. And now we're going to see another rotation here from Dendi. But he does not have coils, so I don't think much is going to happen out of it.
Yeah.
By the way, for anybody listening at home and hearing cheering, 50% of the cheering is from the Dota 2 crowd, 50% of the cheering is from the StarCraft crowd next door.
The Street Fighter crowd was also cheering earlier.
The Street Fighter crowd was also, they were also giving it the good
Man,
cheering.
those fighting games, they're fun to watch.
Yeah.
Watching this top lane now. Movements come up from Admiral Bulldog. So the rotation's going to happen again. And Funny, he's just getting out of here. There's a sentry wall just around the corner, so they're waiting for Admiral Bulldog just to, for Funny just to walk around the corner in range of that sentry, then Frostbite to murder. That's the plan right now. But when he death packs like this, they've still got 1,200 life points to get through.
Yeah.
This is not a simple kill to try and take. And Kuro, he's back behind the tower, so Admiral Bulldog at least finds him. I'm not quite sure if he can solo him right now, even with the 3 points up in the Shuri toss, but he could definitely bring him down below half of his life points. And there's the first attack.
He doesn't get the track off, though, which is a bit of a bummer.
Yeah. Lost him in the trees. But on the bright side, Loda's going to destroy this top lane. You see him turn on the flat cannon. I wonder if he'll use Rocket Barrage as well just to ensure it. Either way, they want this top tier 1 tower.
It looks like Navi's response is just going to be counter push. They have healing ward. Yeah, they have healing ward too, so it's going to be really, really easy for them to take the tower. The problem is right now is Funnick is not having the best time.
Kuro, you crazy man. He picks up a haste rune and he just pops off the dust thinking maybe he can catch somebody out.
But he unfortunately will never know. It is Bulldogs.
S4 doing the Broodmother thing, walking outside the map, and there's more TPs coming in. Denny's also here, and Admiral Bulldog silence up instantly. The Centaur is already let off the stomp right now, and Admiral Bulldog is very, very low. Centaur as well as the Force beating down onto Admiral Bulldog. Denny, he's still low on life, but he's not as bad as Arcade. After Chen drops the nuke onto him. More TP supports on the way, and Alliance now coming in one up the other. They cancel the TP, realizing Lashrak Split Earth was going to come down at the perfect time, but that means a Vorst. Now he goes into a spin, he's damaging on both EGM as well as S4. The lasso is dragging a Vorst away. Soul Assumption damage. One more attack. S4 gets the kill, but Dandy. One more attack with Chen. Gives Puppy a killing spree. And Navi with a better trade-off at the end of the day.
TPing directly into Puck, Silence, Dream Coil. That ain't much fun.
Bottom tower's going to get denied. Or maybe he doesn't. Those familiars had max damage. He attempted that.
I think that was a case of Alliance wanting their cake and eating it too, or whatever the saying is. I probably butchered that.
No, that was right.
It was right? Okay. So, like, they get the tier 1 top, and they say, okay, we have time to TP bottom. Let's go instantly. Let's just TP because S4 is already getting initiated on. Maybe we can turn the fight. And then they lose pretty much everybody who goes down there, and they lose the tower anyway. So, a bit of greed, I would say, coming out from Alliance trying to get that. Especially when you're playing against a team that has healing ward. You can engage for such extended periods of time because you just have perma health, basically. It's a portable well, more or less. Doesn't give you mana, but certainly keeps you in fighting shape. So Alliance, they still have a bit of work cut out for them. Thank goodness S4 now has his Blink Dagger. So if he wants to try to initiate for the team, which I think is really important against Navi's style of lineup, when a team just walks up to a tower, you want the capability of pulling somebody out to the rest of your team to be able to kill them.
The only issue is he doesn't have Lasso right now. And if he was able to initiate directly on Horse, it would have been okay. But then he also picked up his own Blink Dagger. Jumps in, jumps out.
That silence.
It's just...
It's up now, Lasso. So
Yeah.
he does have it.
But the problem is I don't know if Denny was quick enough or someone was quick enough on the buttons to see that. But it looks like Navi don't care anyway. They're just going to go in for Roshan. They don't have an undead army here to help out though. But they have Frost Armor from the Ogre Frost Mage. They've already got the Centaur, so Swiftness Aura galore. And then, as you mentioned at the early portions of this cast, you've got a Healing Ward from a Vost. So while that's up and running, the Centaurs can tank up, a Vost can tank up. Either way, no one loses any life points while bringing down Roshan. But the Familiars will be coming in to scatter it out.
It is a bit dangerous, though, because between Call Down,
Oh, they lost one.
a Bat Rider Initiation,
They're
and
coming in.
Crystal Maiden ulti, yeah.
Firefly's there. Funnick is also hovering around. He has them all. Danny double silence. And then double Dream Call as well. Arcade. He just gets destroyed by Funnick. And they've also got the Sun over an Admiral Bullock. He's in range of the tower. Chen Yuk is hearing arrow. And then doesn't need one more hit. Horse spinning over on top of Loader right now. Looks like he's trying to deliver off the rest of the drum recipe, which is now finally in. He could not finish the job on one, but at least Bat Rider down a little bit further in the river. And EGM Troll trapped up. Familiars, they need to make some space. One stun, two stun. Able to pick up two on both of those, but it will not be the escape for EGM. And that's also the freshly summoned Familiars that just got farmed up in the river.
Yeah, that hurts a lot. You know what I really like about this game, though, is that you can obviously tell that there are a lot of Alliance fans in the crowd, but they still applaud Navi doing well because they have their respect for the good Doge. You know?
People admire the skillful
Yeah.
players. They really, you have to.
Just
But-
applaud good Dota.
Navi now get Roshan, so they have a pretty significant lead at this stage in the game. Klink's now finishing up the Orchid. Even though Funnick didn't have the best time in the early stages, compare right now Funnick's farm to Bulldog. That is a 16 CS bounty hunter
Yeah.
at 15 minutes in. So the only farm he ever got was prior to hitting level 6.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
That's not... That's a horrible way to look at it.
Yeah.
I mean, it hurts, but that's the dynamic of the hero, right?
Yeah.
Like, you don't sit in a lane and farm after you hit 6. You just don't do it.
So when you need to get money from track when you rotate.
When your team isn't getting kills and you're relying on track kills to be your income, then you're kind of screwed when it doesn't happen, right? So now it's a bounty hunter who is behind is pretty much just like a Viper, like Sam was saying. It's like the hero is okay from behind as long as you're finding some kills, but they're really not.
Yeah. And right now it's going to get even harder. Poppy just purchased up a gem, so he'll be coming back out for the courier once the courier's gone back to base. And of course, starting up in the Aghanim Scepter. You already finished up the drums, like halfway through that fight. But now he's also going to be building into having that full Aghanims. And that's already with a level 2 ultimate of his. Middle lane, they're trying to again. They're really relying on S4 to find an opening here. But they have not found one. Admiral Bulldog will see the Chen army come down, but not the Chen. Navi is just almost fully grouped up, while Alliance are actually only 4. They're giving that space to Loader, who, when you're behind, you pick a hand of Midas. You got a hand of Midas before he finishes the BKB. And Navi's actually giving him space down here on the bottom lane to use that Midas.
Well, I don't know if they're necessarily giving him space because they're pushing into mid-tier 1. If they force a reaction out of him, then they're certainly not giving
Danny
him space.
jumps in, found S4. Couldn't get the silence off as well, but now he does do so. And the Dream Call, Soul Assumption damage trying to fly, but Danny able to phase shift away from it. So he does not go down on EGM. Trapped up once. There's Unova as well as Gravechill, so he's got the movement speed to get away. While on the bottom lane, Funnick is soloing Loader. It almost dropped him. The Orchid damage was enough to finish the job. But this mid tower is just getting Edict down. 4 points up an Edict as well from Kuro. There's no fortification available left anymore. And Dandy jumps in again, searching for Arcade. The last attack will actually connect as well. Phase shifts down, the track is there. But if they go in any deeper, Havos, oh, he doesn't jump it. Gets stunned up by the Familiars, too far away to get that Omni Slash off. But again, they camp up these Familiars, and they'll both go down.
They have so much push, it's ridiculous.
Juggernaut Chen, man. You will lose your buildings. That's kind of how this lineup works.
Oh, Deji. You crazy, crazy man. Havos, he jumps in deeper onto Admiral Bulldog, but now he's behind the tier 3 towers. There's more TPs coming out, and S4 jumps in. Havos paying the price for the overcommittal.
Not just yet. They can't do that just yet, I don't think. A little
Almost.
bit.
If he had Omni'd Loda, it would have been a kill, but he wasn't close enough, so he had to go for Bulldog instead. That was
Bulldog just jumps in, Fizz.
That was manly, I'll say that.
It was over-aggressive, I think, would be.
That's Havos. That's what we accept from him.
It's like every once in a while, you just gotta dive to tier 3 when the tier 2 is still alive.
Yeah. Middle lane, jump on Bulldog, silence, dream call. Kuro won't let off a stun. He realized if Bulldog walks out of range, that he was 1 point of the pulse to get the kill. Now that's a great way to kill secure.
I'm a fan. It doesn't really do that much damage.
I think it's a little bit
like
harder to do.
60 or something at level 1, right?
So,
Yeah,
what do you
66.
get next on Puck here? Just Orchid or something like that?
Dagon.
Dagon. Kill
It's the
stuff.
same reason you got a Dagon last game. Even if you only get a Dagon 1, it's still 400 base damage, which I guess is 300 to a hero because of the built-in magic resist. But it's still really nice for securing kills.
Yeah.
Whenever you go in and you throw out a coil, a silence, and an orb, usually at this stage, heroes are going to be at what, like 25% health, maybe a little bit more if you're a carry. But if you have a Dagon, you get the insta-kill factor, which is really nice to have. He might just go straight Hex though. Maybe Puppy's yelling at him for getting a Dagon last game.
I think Puppy yelled at him to get the side of the vice halfway through that last game anyway.
Yeah.
And I love too the Kuro's already doing the prep for this. Like, they're doing the prep for the jump in. I also like the way he did it. With this aggressive ward they put up on the cliff, it's just sitting up there, but they cleaned off the tree line. He used a split earth to destroy this little box right here, this tree line right there, so he didn't have to risk himself coming in to drop down that ward. Small little thing. Just want to point it out.
They have a pretty substantial lead if you look at the graphs.
Yeah.
That was nearly 10. That should be 10k gold in 20 minutes.
It's just map control, man.
Yeah.
That's what Navi have been stressing this entire series. And the one thing about Alliance's drafts that we keep coming back to is the comeback factor. Well, this lineup probably has the least comeback factor of any draft that they've picked so far. This is more of a straight up, we want to try to fight you lineup.
Funnick, EGM. He was waiting so long for that one. Now he's tracked up himself, and with the dust popping off, Admiral Bulldog, wow, then a half his life points. The Lions at least lucky enough to escape from that, but they're going to lose their bottom tower.
Bottom tower has fallen.
This is all just smoke and mirrors, distraction. 2 Euros try and hunt in the middle lane, 3 Euros push out the bottom, and now Navi, there's a jump in. S4 grabbing Puppy, dragging him back. Admiral Bulldog, they nuke him down very, very quickly. No chance for the hand of God. He got the mech off before.
And that's the kind of thing that they were trying to do when their tier 1s were still standing, right? Like you get the Blink Dagger, you use S4 to start the engagement on your terms. You don't ever want to let a team with a Chen and a Juggernaut just walk up to your tower before you start the fight, because then the healing ward goes down and all of a sudden you just get that looming sense of we can't really fight this because there's a massive creep army, potentially another creep wave, and the entirety of Navi just beating on your tower. It's very similar to playing against a hero like Shadow Shaman. You just want to get there before the action starts and get a fight initiated using S4.
Denny's coming down to initiate one here. This aggressive observer ward just planted down is really keeping tabs on what's going on around that tier 2 tower. So when Denny does jump, he knows where he's committing to. It is like Mystic Staff, Scythe of Ice, enjoy the times. But Denny with an Invis rune and having a gem, he's watching ever so closely all these maneuvers. But there's no kill going to be coming off. Unexpected farming, trying to finish up his BKB. With the Ghost Hunter on Puppy, they're just not in the position to start killing it. They're giving at least Alliance some breathing space.
So Andy, here's a question, right? And I talked about this in the last game where Alliance like to have heroes that they can
Might
catch
have to wait
up
a
with.
second. Oh no, we're good. Yeah, keep going.
They like to have heroes they can catch up with. Now, normally Bounty is a kind of hero. If you start getting track kills, you can catch up really quickly. But because they're not getting any kills, they're not catching up.
That's just it. It's like Bounty Hunter is so polarizing in terms of what he brings to the team. When you're ahead, Bounty Hunter is amazing because every single kill you get is worth so much more. And at that point, you don't really even have to go for towers anymore as long as you're getting good team fights back to back. Even trading 3 for 3, if the Bounty Hunter lives to the fight and you get track, it's still better for the team with the Bounty Hunter. But when you don't actually have a team who can 5-man against the opponents, because Navi's 5-man is actually a bit stronger right now, then you have problems. Bulldog is going to scout out the high ground here, maybe looking to try to start a fight, and S4 gets a haste. That's perfect for them.
But at the same time, Navi's rotating all their players back off that bottom lane, so they'll be ready for this fight if S4 did go in for that. And they decide to back up. They're going to move up towards the top lane instead, try and still want to fight inside the jungle. But Divorce definitely shows himself in the mid. And he is only now 500 gold away. But Alliance is prepping. They are prepping so hard to come on this middle lane. But it's still a 3v5 right now. Both Loader as well as EGM are too far away.
Yep.
Well, I think even if they start the fight, since S4 has a haste, he can actually drag somebody so far during the duration of his lasso with the Force Staff that the rest of the team could
Radiant's
get there
top
to help
tower
him.
is under attack.
We'll have to see, though. It doesn't look like Alliance are looking to fight at the moment. Everyone's kind of just walked back to their side of the map.
It's just the calm before the Roche, which is now. So Navi will jump in for this one. This is Alliance's chance. They know where Navi is at least going to be, and with the drag back out again, with the call down, with the tracks, they have a chance that they could lock Navi in a really bad position. But it's still a bit of a rough chance. Roshan's dying so quickly right now.
Yeah, they can't go.
They won't get there in time. And they in fact lose almost, in fact they will, they'll lose the familiars. They'll lose both of them again.
Oh, S4 in the snag!
In and out so quickly.
What a player.
Incredible.
What a player.
They didn't even touch him. Blinks in, just takes it, and just, wow. A thief in his second life.
That has given the crowd a lift, and maybe it's given Alliance a lift.
It's still, at this point though, just the Aegis. They need to convert that into something more. And with S4, like he blinks in, he lassos. If he dies, what does he come back with?
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Well, that's a good question, but it's certainly still better than giving it to Navi.
True.
I'm just like shocked that he got that perfect of timing, you know what I mean? Because the familiars died about 3 or 4 seconds before he goes into the pit.
Well, he had the last familiar come in. The last familiar, like it flew out, then it flew back in again. So it gave him like,
Oh, here we go.
Should be enough. Yep, S4. And now Danny jumps on him. He may lose this Aegis straight away. Or Admiral Bulldog, he's getting nuked down. Juggernaut jumps through the two of them. Aegis respawn. Loader pops a BKB. That flag cannon damage. It's really hurting Navi. The Hand of God's already been used. And Dandy, he'll go down the scenario. And the Soul Assumption gets rid of Puppy's creeps. The healing water's still up. It's bringing Kuro and Puppy back to life again. At the same time, Arcane almost nuked down. S4 now he gets the last two on Funning in the middle of the BKB. The million damage quite high. Not to mention Loader. They're going up. This one Solar Assumption damage. They got him. 2 cores from Navi going down. Couple of tracks during. Actually, I don't think the tracks got off during that fight because
Bulldog was dead.
He got nuked so
Yeah.
quickly. But still, Aegis got used. But it's an even team fight at the end of the day, really.
Because of the bounty death. That hurt them.
Well, S4 lost his Aegis too, and the unfortunate part was I think he wanted to go for an initiation on the Clinks, but getting the Clinks is kind of hoping for something that most likely isn't going to happen. And then he's like, well, I don't want to go on this, I'll just back up, and then he gets coiled right next to his teammate. So when he gets up, he doesn't have Force Staff. Then Funnick ends up overcommitting, not realizing that S4 hadn't used Lasso yet, and ends up giving away his kill. So a bit of a road bump for Navi. It's definitely not a great thing, but Alliance didn't have any tracks, so
Yeah. They didn't really make the most out of that fight. But then again, even if they did have tracks, Admiral Bulldog still doesn't have a level 2 track.
hey man, a track is better than no track.
True. 200 for every track you get down and get a kill for. But still, you go up to the next level and then it's 300 for every single one.
This game is
depending
like,
on the bonus
you can just feel the tension,
Yeah.
you know, between the teams. I still can't believe S4 got that Aegis. That was like,
Yeah, I was sick.
the ridiculous part is he got the Aegis and the rest of Navi were kind of just sitting there for like 2 seconds going, wait, what?
And then the haste stream for the quick escape.
Not meant to have time to discuss who's going to take the Aegis. The conference. And now you see a little bit more warning coming out from Alliance. Now they realize that if they had the vision, they can really go for this. S4 over Funnick, really
That
diving
damage.
in deep. I don't think, it's not enough, not with the Orchid Pop.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
If only he had his Crystallis finished. Maybe if he got a lucky crit, he would have killed him there.
True. He could have committed, no, he wouldn't have committed any further than that. They've still got this T1 tower on the top lane for Alliance, so they've still got some room to breathe. While up on this top lane, it looks like we've got ourselves Mr. Helmet Dominator going to work. It's the tornado creep that's been controlled up by, well, we assume by Arcade, but it's been persuaded to fight for the side of Alliance by Loader. And
A lot
Navi
of
just back
passivity
up.
in this game too. Comparative to the first 2 games that Navi were playing, the games were pretty much over by now, right?
Yeah.
So this is the first time where Alliance has still had at least some semblance of a foothold in this best of 5 so far.
Oh, Funnick. That's a big misclick, and
Yeah.
it's being massively pinged out in the mid. The BKB usage. That's a really, really huge thing if Alliance, and they do, they smoke
was
up
a-
instantly after.
That was a 9-second BKB that he just used.
Yep.
That's painful.
Long time on the sidelines, and S4's, look at him, just Firefly up, find an opening. He'll see Puppey being the closest, and that's the one he wants. It's the big healer. Kuro's also in the neighborhood. But S4's not finding any hero close enough that he can jump in and force staff him away.
Alliance are doing a pretty good job at holding on at the moment, but they're going to need more than just passive farming. Farming a single core against the Juggernaut and the Clinks team is probably not going to end up bringing you back enough on its own merit. You're going to need something else. You're going to need to start getting some tier 1s. The middle tower for Navi still stands. The off lane tier 1 still stands. You need to start applying some kind of pressure. Try to find a pick. When you see Funnick pop a 9-second BKB, at some point you have to just say, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Do you think the other problem they've got is... Oh, wait, we've got a smoke gank coming here.
Well, they're still quite a bit of ways from anybody, so...
Do you think that, like, because of the dual core Clinks and Jug, as the game goes later and people have BKBs and spinning and stuff, I mean, Gyrocopter's cooldown and his damage becomes slightly less important unless you can get lots of damage items on him, right?
Yeah, but he's the highest net
Helm with
worth.
a Dom, and he's got a Hand of Midas and a BKB, so his damage items are only his Phase Boots and his Demon Edge, right?
There's a lot of TPs coming bottom lane. Jump in, Loader, hex up by Dandy, but Dandy isn't going to be enough damage. No, Loader with a 4-staff gets him away to safety. And Navi smoke gank ends up failing on this bottom lane.
S4 with them reactions, man.
Yeah.
That was like immediate 4-staff after they saw the hex come out.
And that was the first time it got shown too. Denny only just finished that. What else they get? Oh, that's just a TP coming out in the courier. I'm wondering what Lotus really got planned with this Demon Edge. I know we've seen a hell of a lot of rapiers through the Dota 2 scene recently.
A rapier would be really good, though. That's the hard part is protecting it.
Yeah.
Obviously, Gyro is like the rapier hero of any hero. 1,000 range on flat cannon, you throw out a couple of auto attacks, and the fight can just be over at that point.
Yep. Well, you already saw how much damage he did during that mid-fight around the tier 2 tower. Like that, if you add a rapier damage onto the back of that, and now you also give him a DD rune from this top lane, you want to try and fight with this. But again, S4, like he's doing this little smoke, not smoke, but the Firefly mover up onto the hill. He's looking for someone who's just close enough. Funnick just taking out this top tier 1 tower. With no backdoor regeneration on tier 1 towers, it's too easy to do. And that's why Admiral Bulldog and S4 also look towards this mid.
There's just been a heck of a lot of movement on the side of Navi, and not a whole lot really gained so far. Because of the fact they didn't get the last Aegis, I think that was supposed to be their token to say, we're breaching high ground, right? Like we want to push into tier 3s, but it didn't end up happening that way. And now they're going to be forced to deny their tier 1 if they even can. Might just die to creeps, yeah.
Does.
Extra gold for Alliance.
And it also breaks his smoke to try and clean up the rest of the creep wave. So now Alliance, like they're already backing out because they knew Navi was missing from every single part of the map. So instantly assume they're smoking again, trying to find a kill. And this smoke ends up being useless. They're rotating up towards the Ancients area, but they're not going to find anything up here either. Also noticed Puppey's control creeps. Like he's got 2 Centaurs in the Hellbear, but there's no trolls on the field right now. Funnick, he's got EGM. There's no way to really stop this. Even with the Grave Chill, like he's moving very, very quick. But now Orchid, oh wow, he's actually taking up a hell of a lot. 1 charge as well, EGM's going to survive. And S4 wants to try and capitalize on this. Already with the Orchid being used, maybe they feel there's a chance.
That Grave
just to
Keeper's
keep it
cloak,
back.
man.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
S4 needs to jump. Troll just got taken by Puppey. The helm of the dominated Troll just got taken by Puppey. And you creep to the cause.
Was that homing missile sideways, or am I just like drunk? That looked really weird, didn't it?
I didn't see it.
I wasn't really paying attention.
I was watching the monitor, not your screen.
My question is, what does Havos make after his Aghanims? Does he go Desolator? I think it would help with their pushing quite a bit.
It'd help with the pushing, but I got a funny feeling he's going to build this for late game.
He could go like Butterfly or something. Wouldn't be a bad choice, considering.
But the Monkey King Belt was purchased up by the Gyro as well.
Couldn't Puck pick up a Desolator? Would that be legit?
Puck?
Yeah.
I mean, he could, but...
Puck's not normally a physical DPSer.
But that way Jug could go for, you know, Clanks maybe?
Nah, Clinks wouldn't go for Deso.
Well, then he's got to.
Not with his Searing Arrows already.
Yeah, he's going to get a Daedalus, right?
Well, hopefully this Roshan token doesn't get stolen by Alliance. That would kind of throw another wrench into Navi's game plan as of thus.
The Familiar's already scouting out.
This is cheese, too.
You don't suppose.
You can
Maybe
wait
a
for the
bit.
jump.
You don't suppose.
With BKB as well as Monkey King Bar, like Jara is going to love fighting inside the Rosh pit, but it's already too late. The damage output from Navi is too much, and S4, while he's in the mid lane, he's nowhere near close enough to come in for Roshan.
Got
So
it.
this time Navi will take both Aegis and Cheese. Cheese over on the puck, Aegis on the clinks.
So maybe that Aegis steal just delayed things by a few minutes.
Well, yeah, but delaying is kind of good, because
Yeah.
if you get to the late game, a gyrocopter carry becomes very, very dangerous in that if you don't get him immediately with something like a Hex, then you're going to run into some problems because he's the main damage dealer on the side of Alliance. And if he gets flat cannon shots off, even heroes with a decent amount of HP are going to get eaten alive by that. So it's going to be down to breaking the base against a gyro is difficult at pretty much any stage. But because now Loda has his MKB and he has BKB, his damage output is still quite high. 250 a hit is nothing to shake a stick at. So
He might be really happy too that he sees Juggernaut, going in for a diffuser blade. As opposed to like something like an AC or more tank ability, there is a better chance now to kill off that Juggernaut. Even though when he goes into his ulti, and well, Spinner's going to be rather difficult.
I almost think that maybe buying a Lincolns for him wouldn't have been bad either, because you can put the Lincolns on Funnick when he goes for BKB, and then you can't stop Funnick from doing anything. And really, the Juggernaut doesn't need another damage item because most of the damage comes from the Clanks anyway. Yep.
Radiant's middle
We just
tower
saw there with the tier 2 tower. Familiar's also getting dropped. Not nice little 4-star fit to the stun, but EGM's already up high enough on the hill that he's okay. And he's been working, by the way, for the last 15 minutes to get that Aghanim scepter. He's almost got it. He's 300 gold away. But with the rate those swings are dropping, there's just more food for Navi.
The rocket is worth 30 gold. I didn't know that.
It's worth a bit of money.
Scrap metal.
Salvage. We're close enough to StarCraft 2. Where's that bunker salvage? What, 25 for that, I think, isn't it? 25%? I don't know. I haven't cast StarCraft for a long time. S4. Again, we go on this scout. Hasn't worked for him before, but this time it will. Kuro is very much out by himself, so Blink, Lasso. This time there will be a drag kill as well. Bonus gold for everyone, and it's the full 5-man roster up here for Alliance. So just that one kill, they got a bonus 600 gold from getting that kill on Kuro.
Yeah, that's a bit interesting, honestly. Like, Kuro was off in no man's land. He was just by himself.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't see anyone on the map. He's like, nah, I'm just going to farm the woods. No big deal. So they might be able to turn this into a quick tier 2. They have another BKB. This time it's going to be on S4. So now he can initiate for free, which is huge, because now it's almost guaranteed that he's going to find a target.
Yep. Alliance going to back up right now. EGM's going to read something familiar shortly. Dandy actually going for EGM. It's a good thing he purchased some of his Aghanims. He may go down here. Dandy, Dream Call as well, but EGM, he's just going to TP out this one. Juggernaut needs to see him and...
Oh!
Can't kill what you don't see. And
He was really scared to
Come
go in
on, that's
there.
getting beyond ridiculous. A hand of minus 36 minutes in.
Yeah, Midas over finishing the BKB. Well,
I don't get that.
no, it's okay. You can applaud the Midas.
It's actually
fine.
really good up against the Chen. That's where I'm going to take this one out.
I mean, he's second lowest in net worth, so I guess...
He needs it, man.
He needs the levels to hit level 16 to get the bonus track. They need so much money to get through this, and they need to stop the Chen from having controlling creeps.
It's starting to get a bit worrisome for Navi, though, because this gyrocopter is continuing to farm faster than anyone. Like, he has the highest net worth in the game.
He's got 270 CS to the 182 of clinks.
Yeah.
That's the difference. He's 4K net worth above. And now they're going to try and fight top. Blink, Lasso, forced up. Whoa! Forced up the Pigliness, forced it instantly. Funny popped the BKB. Loader to pop his one as well. And Avos, he's got ulti up. He's going to jump this. He wants to dive it, but he got stunned up next to the tower. Just hold position. And
He's
they'll
got
just-
healing ward. He's fine.
A little bit of trouble over on the side too. Puppy going past Arcade Dandy. Is he really? Yeah, he's going to jaunt this one down. Side the Vice in 11 seconds. Silence as well. The Dream Core 2 seconds away. And does he go in deep? No, he does not. Arcade's back to safety. They just lose S4. But that 4-star Camille, they pushed him in deeper. I don't know if that was actually Navi or Alliance doing that.
Well, he had a BKB, so either way, you would imagine that he would preemptively, like if he wanted to go in, then there's no reason to not just BKB first, you know what I mean? And then jump, so Maybe it was just...
So they look to damage the tower now without that danger of a Batrider.
yeah, but there's a glyph, and he'll be up in time.
Yeah.
Like, they're basically popping the glyph here. If they take one good engagement, surely it's going to be a Rax, though.
Navi stick around a little bit too long. There's your
They're gonna
rocket.
get it.
A ball's going to spin it out, but that means his magic beauties are now on cooldown. EGM, Soul Assumption, what damage is that? Basically, it's a nip on the heel. Navi take the tier 3 tower, they back up, and there's no casualties. And Puppy's already looking great. Like, he's got Alpha Wolf to also buff up all the damage which is being dealt, which is now even bigger up on a Clinks, with a full Daedalus now on the Clinks, with the Orchid, with the BKB, and he's still got this Aegis Z model for a little bit longer. Not much longer, but a little bit.
Well, Navi are playing the waiting game right now. How many Roshans can we take back-to-back before we win? That's kind of what it's boiled down to. And because of the fact that this is the one that could seal the entire best-of-5 series, I don't mind the fact that they're playing it this way.
This
Yeah.
I like.
There's a Satanic.
See, I'm not quite sure about this from Navi, but right now they're going to rotate towards the top lane. But that Satanic up on Loader, it's just become even more difficult. RK, he's going to TP out just in time. Funnick scrambling to get to the tree line. But with that Satanic, Loader's going to be really difficult to instantly pick off, especially with the BKB, as long as he doesn't get hexed.
Yeah, if he gets hexed, he can still die easily.
But if he gets hexed, then that means S4's got room to move. Because there's only one hex on the field.
It kind of has to be Clinks that he goes for, though. Like, going for the Chen earlier in the game makes a bit more sense because his heals are more pivotal in the team fights.
Yep.
But Clinks is just all the damage right now for Navi. So if S4 can find him, even if they jump on Loda, it'll be fine.
Nice little movement out there by Alliance. They managed to get rid of one of those observer walls that Navi planted down on top of the Ancient area. Obviously, it's a place which is rather critical for Loda to continue to keep farming up. Because he's getting more and more money. Like, he's got 2k gold right now. I'm actually wondering how he does build this. Like, do we just go complete balls deep Rapier? Or do we try and go Daedalus for him?
It feels like he was setting up for going a big damage item because typically, if you have a Dominator and a BKB, sometimes going Butterfly is more effective HP in situations where the biggest threat to you is physical damage.
Yep.
So if he's going for the tanky route, I wouldn't be surprised to see him transition into a Rapier. Maybe he picks up another item first, maybe he goes Butterfly, and then Rapier.
Yeah. So you basically go for the real Rapier build.
Yeah, the
like
real 6 items, I'm gonna kill your whole team Rapier.
Yeah, the one where you actually don't require an Aegis Z model as extra security. Navi, they're really pulling back a lot further here. They must be thinking there's some aggressive observer wards out from Alliance if they're moving back all the way to their tier 1 tower to do that smoke. But they're going to come into the dot ready in jungle. At the same time, Alliance, they're back over on that ancient area. Admiral Bulldog this time finding his farm, 1,600 gold for him, but he's still 1,300 away from having the BKB. But right now, I think buyback is more the critical thing. Now, you got buyback on Gyro, Clinks, Puck, Chen, Bounty, and Crystal Maiden at this point.
Yeah, pretty much everyone.
Well,
Everyone can buy back.
It's just security. They know as long as they don't lose ranks, they can always come back from this. Gyro just gets more and more farm. Like, he's now up to 2,900.
Yeah, I want to see if he does end up going for the pure damage build or if he wants to go for the Butterfly first.
I am feeling the Butterfly as well.
Yeah, there's no MKB on Clinks. So.
Exactly. But then again, the rate the Funnick is farming, like, he's also, like, funnily enough, for a Clinks, you would think he'd have a higher kill count than this.
Yeah,
but
he's got 2 kills.
Yeah.
2, 1, and 2.
I'm wondering, too, if that's almost a bit of a telltale sign of this. Like, Navi, in the first 2 games, they controlled up Alliance beautifully. Like, their movement around was absolutely amazing. They always were finding kills and always keeping the pressure on. This is the first game we've had in this best-of-5 series that's gone past the 30-minute mark. And Funnick, the man who should be murdering everybody, hasn't been able to do so. And it's Alliance that are still finding farm on the map.
This is your double cheese Roche, by the way.
It is. Look at him dead. That's over 1k crits coming out right now from Funnick. Roshan stands no chance against this. I thought he was meant to be a big tough guy.
Well, at 42 minutes, he's basically a creep. That's kind of how it works, especially when you have this amount of farm. But
next change for Ice Rock. Roshan has to scale better.
Yeah,
That would be
he does
something.
have to scale better. But they have Vlad's, Commandora, and AC. So everyone on the side of Navi has a tremendous amount of armor, assuming they're all kind of in close proximity. And that's going to be great for eating those flat cannon hits, because without it, heroes like Kuro, well, he does have a Ghost Scepter, and so does Puppey. So yeah, Flat Cannon's really not as good as maybe Alliance want it to be in this situation. And you really can't stop attacking, right?
Yeah.
Like you say, okay, oh man, that Ghost Scepter, I shouldn't use my Flat Cannon. Well, if you're not hitting anybody, then you're just gonna die anyway.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
stuck between a rock and a hard place if you're Alliance still. But I feel like they could maybe pull out a base defense just because, like you had said, they have so many buybacks.
Yep. And they've actually already got the evasion over on Loda, so he'll have that during the fight. He is going to go straight for the full butterfly. And with the Sentry Wars, they're getting dewarded. Up we come. Familiars, of course, he starts on the range race, hits one time, and they actually snipe out two of these Familiars. But then, Hand-of-Minus from Loda gets rid of one exchange creep, and now Funning lassoed inside the BKB. And Loda, he's going to turn on the heat right now. Over towards Funning. Funning pops the cheese already, but he's really taking a lot of damage. They're diving on top of Tier 4 towers, and now it's Loda. There's the first kill here. Crystalmania goes down, has to fight back. Juggernaut bounces through, but he only picked up the Visage. It's only 2 supports going down. The cores are still up here from Alliance, and with 3 napalm stacks on a Voss, he won't survive this. Arcade comes back in again. They will take Jaeger's the Immortal. The Familiars don't have drops right now. There's no lassos, but Loda, Voss spins out the damage. They need to get this track up on him as well. Soul Assumption damage down, Flame Break, they're gonna bring him down. Navi do not take the racks. They lose the Aegis, they burned one of the cheeses, and they lost their cores.
And that was really nice BKB timing by Loda. Dendi jumps in. He wants to go on Loda straight away because he's pretty much the main damage threat. But Loda had the BKB on before, so Dendi really didn't have much of an impact on that fight at all. And then Funnick, he gets lassoed, pulled into the Tier 4 towers. What can he really do at that point? Even with the BKB, it doesn't matter. If you're taking Tier 4 tower hits and Loda's laying into you with the damage items that he has, it's very easy to take a base defense when you have an opening like that. So well played by Alliance. The Raxus took a bit of damage, and they had
another
to use
one.
Glyph.
Puppey's in trouble. Puppey's in a lot of trouble right now. There's a homing missile. S4's trying to catch up to him. The Flame Break is deep, so it bumps him back. All 3 stuns will connect. The mech will already go, and now Dandy gonna get lassoed in. They're looking for the whole kit and caboodle of Dandy. He is gone! Gyro with that flat cannon. It melted the Navi lineup, and now Alliance, they may be the first guys taking racks here. They can push hard, and they can push fast.
Well, they have buyouts. They have buyout on Dendi, and they have buyout
if they force
on
the
Puppey.
money, that's also worth it.
Yeah, getting the money at this point is definitely huge. Loda's also dangerously close to his next item. He actually has enough for the butterfly, but I think he probably just saves for buyback at this point too. That's going to be it. Like, can you push into the base without the other team having a bunch of buybacks? That's going to be what decides the game.
Look at that graph spike.
It's a way to kick it back up again, man. And with the butterfly almost fully finished up on Loda, he's actually got by it. The courier's making its way up right now. And it's got the quarterstaff on it, and Loda goes high ground. There's still another time. I think of the lasso. They pulled a Voss, and they just turned him on. They got him. They got him. This is a big opening. Juggernaut does not have buyback. He's short by 515 gold. They can force the racks now.
Yeah, this is actually just Rax.
Yeah.
They don't have any way of defending without the Juggernaut. The Klings is alive, and Dendi's going to be alive.
Here's the TP coming. I think they want to give this a shot. Chen's in close. Danny jumps in. There's a 4-man silence, 3-man dream call. Bulldog pulls the BKB. S4 almost dead. He is dead, but Puppey in too close. The BKBs are gone. They're waiting for the Ghost to wear off, and now the Rocket Barrage cooldown will also connect on Dendi. The gem is dropped, and Dendi, he's dropping to Alliance. Loda holds the last flag cannon, but Dendi will survive through this one. S4 back into the fight. BT's after buyback. Double buybacks coming up, both for Shrek and Chen, but they're moving up north. Funnick is outside the base right now, and Alliance, they want to go for more. They want to get themselves a double raxing right now, and they may even get themselves a kill. They got Funnick, lasso, they hold him, they got him! Funnick is gone! Puppey's in a little bit too close as well. This will be a double clicks for buyback. They're backing up, they're backing up. Arcade's too low. They force buybacks from almost all of Navi. And maybe Dendi can catch one out with a TP back. Doesn't have Dream Call, however.
It's just unbelievable.
Alliance are home. They're out. They're home. Host. Done.
I gotta say, Navi kind of fell apart there. Like, they made a lot of really not so good decisions when they were trying to defend the base. Like, having so many people. Yeah.
That's unbelievable. We're back to level pegging.
And that's actually bigger because every person basically on Navi just had to buyback. So in reality, Alliance actually have a gold lead right now.
Right.
Like that many buybacks, and then you still lose your racks. Alliance, you can never count them out, basically.
What can Navi do? I mean, do they need to initiate? I mean, do Alliance just need to make sure they don't get caught out?
S4 is destroying them. It's literally S4 that is keeping them in the game. Because they get a lasso that turns the fight around when they're defending their racks. He gets another lasso while they're pushing the base that kills a carry with no buyback.
Yeah.
And then he kills Funnick and forces him to buy back. Every single one of those kills happened because S4 is playing Batrider.
Yep.
I mean, this was a game that about 10 minutes ago I would have said I'd probably give Alliance like a 1 in 10 chance of winning.
Yep.
And now all of a sudden it feels like Alliance should win.
S4, man. S4.
It really does feel like Alliance's game to lose. Even though they haven't leveled things up just yet, it's really stalled the next level of items coming out from Navi. My Puck's been sitting now on this 3.7k and looking to build into, like, he's got an ultimate orb, so you make it your Liquid Sphere after all, coming out in this Puck. But Puppy, like, he's got Ghost Scepter, Vlad's, Mech, Arcane Boots. For a team that had an advantage of 14,000 gold, your Chen is now basically broke. And Funnick, he picked up this Demon Edge. He has no money for buyback. It's even on cooldown. That's not one of the reasons why. But Alliance are pushing out the top lane. We're not seeing this Monkey King bar finished up for Clinks, which means he cannot directly attack. S4 is being so aggressive. He has Fireflied so deep inside this base, looking for one person to be out of position. The Familiars and Loader is all they need to bring down the tier 3 tower, and Navi, they're on the wrong side of the map. They're not ready to fight yet. They're not in position. They now come back up again, but Alliance have already taken out one big roadblock, and that's the tower. And with track from Admiral Bulldog, they can see deep inside Navi's base. They know what's going on here. And they want to take a 5v5 fight. There's your Liquid Sphere now up for Puck. I think Puck comes at a critical moment. But look at the racks. This is the big thing. Racks is the key.
Puppy has no creeps, right?
3 familiar kills, I guess.
Well, he now has his own creep. One melee creep stolen from Puppy.
Honestly, I don't know how they can kill Loda at this point.
Yeah.
That's really the biggest concern.
What a traitor.
The melee racks on both sides is dead, but Alliance still have the range racks, so it's still pushing it a bit harder. I would honestly say it might be worth just using the Lincolns on Funnick to make sure that he can sit there and attack, because no one else does that big of damage really on the side of Navi. And if he gets lassoed, he's dead to rights, even if he gets sent home.
Loader, they try to force stuff in deeper, but now he turns on the flak cannon. Ghost Steps will protect both Kuro as well as Poppy from this, but it does not protect the melee racks. Oh, I'm dead. I'm dead.
Well, they want to try to engage into this. And the rest of Alliance are going to come back. Call down is dropped. Gets a couple on the side of Navi. Yeah, Toby's mic has died for the time being, so
he will be back
soon. Trademarked. S4 blinks out. Funnick looking for a kill on potentially Ake. Does have a force staff. He's going to be able to force his way out. Familiar stuns being dropped as well. And I don't really think that Navi are going to be able to catch anyone here. I think they're all going to get away. Oh, Dendi! EGM gets out! Almost got in range for the Hex there. So they get a free melee racks. They're able to retreat. Don't lose anything for it. Roshan is going to be respawning relatively soon as well. Navi probably looking to position for that.
Now this will be a Roche that maybe Alliance should be taking, and Navi will have to let them take it.
Well, because of the fact that they have 2 lanes dead, I'm inclined to agree. Mid's not pushing that hard because both melee racks are dead on both sides. The range creeps make a pretty big difference though, and at least one person's going to have to stay here consistently to make sure that it's not just shoving into the base. And wow, Basher picked up on Gyro, so this is going to be an Abyssal Blade on the Gyrocopter, which is actually pretty smart.
Yeah.
Because if you're assuming that Navi are going to be going on you anyway, and you have a BKB and Satanic, you can actually just walk into them.
Right.
And if you ever get close enough, like the Clinks will have to run. Otherwise he gets Abyssal with his BKB, and then sad times are had.
Team fight time, man. Team fight time.
Welcome back, Toby.
I think I just came back at the perfect moment. Like,
Yeah,
Roshan is 50 seconds away, and S4 is looking for an opening. All around the pit. This is when you start the standoff. S4, he found Kuro. He can see him, but he can't drag him back without too much risk. And now Admiral Bulldog also got a track on a Vorst. Perfect vision, and if Navi ever go in there, actually he got rid of it.
Yeah,
he defused the blazes instantly. They do not want Alliance knowing what's going on. Dendi jumps in. It's a dream call, and Juggernaut throws the ulti out. S4's in too. He got a latch on Funnick. They're focusing him down. Loader. Smack bang on the fight. Call down. Where's the flag cannon? Navi are losing everybody right now. Loader gonna top a double kill. Puppy's retreating. Havor's in pretty deep. He has got himself his own double kill, but Loda still standing his ground at full life. The track is up, so movement speed will be there for Loda. He's going to throw down another missile in a moment, and it's just chasing him down. Havor, he'll be chased to the end of the earth. A triple kill for Loda. S4's looking for a kill as well. He's going to find Puppy. He's down this bottom lane, searching. He's cutting off the retreat as well for both Dendy as well as Puppy. But this isn't the main goal right now. What they want Roshan. The big man is up, but S4's stuck on a cliff.
That's fine. He's got a blink in 1 second.
Oh, Puppy, S4, he blinks into him. He blinks into him. These familiars are going to drop. They're going to drop, give him space. 60 life. The cooldown. They'll get the kill on S4. But Loda, he's about to take Puppy. Rocket Barrage comes to cooldown. They don't even need it. Loda is godlike. And they see Roshan up and running. Get yourself that Abyssal Blade finally, Loda. He's got 7.7k gold after that fight. And Alliance, for the first time, we can say they are fully ahead in the gold now.
He really does have all the money.
Yeah.
Every gold belongs to him.
That's
basically
insane. 919 as well.
But still, who can take Roshan? Dendy is currently hunting the familiars who are taking a little bit longer to move themselves away. There is finally the Abyssal Blade up. So we now have a 6-slotted gyro. The other thing you can do is buy BTs instead of having phase boots.
Yeah, and he'll probably end up doing that really soon, because if he sells the phase boots, he still gets a pretty good chunk of money anyway. Should potentially have buyback even after buying full bots. Oh, his buyback only costs around 1,800 right now. Navi though,
these
they're going for Roshan.
It's a huge
Alliance
boost.
don't have S4. He can buy back and teleport in, which he's going to do. And there we
when
go.
they do this call down, Roshan actually dies right now. The Dire Juggernaut picks up the Aegis as the Immortal. So at least they'll have a second life on him. Funnick being dragged back out again. Admiral Bulldog. Well, actually, they've got one down already. Batrider bounty down the sidelines. And now it's Navi's turn. They're going to go in deeper. RK, 4-star down, and she kills him with the recoil. And now it's a full team wipe. Navi. The movement that was coming out from Alliance was absolutely stupendous, but Navi just completely out-teamfight them on Roshan.
And S4 fought back and died, so he's dead. He is out of this.
And he bought back with such a low amount left, too, on his timer. He's like, oh, I have to buy out here because they needed his initiation for the fight.
Yeah, they had to.
And because Roshan died before they even got to the pit, that means that Aegis is secured on Habost, and you're fighting in a way where the entirety of Navi is actually ready, as opposed to last time where Dendy jumped in and he got the Hex on Loda, which is great, but he didn't have any follow-up. It was kind of just his Hex. So when Loda gets out of the Hex, he BKBs straight away and just does an insane amount of damage. And now Navi, they're coming down mid. Can they actually secure the win?
They have to go for the GG here. They really do. Like, while Batrider's down, they're going to go for a second Rax. This won't end the game. This won't end the game.
No, it won't. But will they even get it? That's my question, because it's still 15 seconds on S4.
Fortification's buying time. Homing missiles coming in the way of Vorst as well. He doesn't want to have to spin through this, so he's going to take the stun. Poppy's converting the Radiant Creeps to fight up against their own masters, and now the cooldown as well. They will take the melee Rags here, but that's going to be all. There's tracks up and running, and Batrider's back alive. Navi, they can't overcommit themselves here. There's another rocket going after Vorst. Alliance want to fight this. Alliance want to try and chase down a Vorst. That rocket will be connecting here. He's already spinning any premature spins. He's running very, very fast, but that missile is still going to follow when it connects. Familiars will drop down too, and now BKB's S4's in. Juggernaut destroys him. The Lincoln Sphere is over on Vorst right now with the Abyssal Blade. He's going to lose his life, but the Aegis Immortal, he takes it up. Loda losing his life, Funnick's on the back end. The Soul Sunder damage isn't enough. Admiral Bull is gone. He's in the corner, but Loda chasing him to the ends of the earth, kills him off. Dandy now also going to pick up. They take out the win, 3-0, and have a date with Fnatic. So the single best of 5 has gone to 4-4.
S4 got obliterated after he put that lasso out. Immediate Omni coming out from Havos. And then Loda, his BKB is so short by this point in the game, right? So it's like 4 seconds. After it wears off, he gets hexed and there's nothing he can do, because normally when they initiate with S4, it deletes a hero from the fight, right? Like you either get the Juggernaut or you get the Clinks, and then you're one heavy damage dealer down if you're on the side of Navi. But they had the Aegis, which means that even if they did manage to get the first kill on Havos, which they used the Abyssal for that, so it showed to be a pretty useful item in that sense. It was just simply too much. Having the Aegis and the other cheese, the initiation didn't go as well as they wanted it to, and Navi pulled it back.
Oh, they did?
Which sounds weird, because they were kind of leading the whole game, and then Alliance get like, honestly, that was one of the sickest almost comebacks ever, right?
Yeah.
They go from being almost 20,000 gold in experience behind to leading. And that's not including the buybacks from everyone on the side of Navi.
But it's also kind of what like Loader always says about these things. One team fight goes wrong for you, and it's over.
Yeah.
That's what really went wrong. That one big fight around Roshan, it was so one-sided. It was so one-sided, it just switched it. It was crazy. It's crazy.
Oh, your microphone, James.
Yeah, James is going to turn himself on really quick, so we can actually hear his thoughts about the game.
There he is.
I needed it.
Hello, James.
Trying to get rid of the static, but didn't work. As amazing as S4 was, unfortunately at the end, trying to do a little bit too much on his bat rider. It was, you know, you don't want to point a finger just because he was the key factor, the fact that they stayed in during the mid game. Of course, you had the bounty as well as a loader on his gyrocopter. That was always going to play into a huge effect. Any team fight, any base defense, if you know, even trade or just defend your base, you should come out ahead as your alliance with the bounty there. But S4 at the end,
pretty unfortunate for him. He had to do that. He had to jump. If they didn't fight outside their base, just the collateral damage of fighting next to the Roxys would mean that if something went wrong, they would lose anyways. They took the chance. It failed. Well played, Fanic, once again in the clings. It's a hero that last week at MLG proved to be very strong, played in a completely different way by Eternal Envy with Soul Ring and Blink Daggers. Now Fanic does something much more conventional, which is Orchid, Daedalus. I hit for a lot of damage, and it worked very well for them.
yeah, you have to give a lot of credit as well to Havos, like just getting that diffusal blade and using it to constantly remove track. It's a big deal because their initiation on Alliance is stronger. Of course, you've got Dendy if he can go in and get a sheep, but you need everyone to back up. With the Bat Rider, you can go in alone and come out alone in many ways. So that diffusal blade usage, Havosta was very smart. I really like that. And I just want to ask Andy, Bat Rider, if you get a Ghost Scepter and you lasso somebody and you Ghost Scepter, you're still lassoing them. I don't know why.
Yeah, no, because you can't use Ghost Scepter and BKB at the same time.
Right, you can actually Ethereal Blade in BKB, but you can't Ghost. So if he goes in and he uses a Ghost Scepter, he could get Hexed or Purged, and then he still dies, because the Omni doesn't stop just because you're Sceptered. It'll just do no damage when it's bouncing. So Havos could have potentially still killed him that way. He would have needed an E-Blade and a BKB for it to work.
All right, and who said there was going to be a 3-0? Was it you, Ted?
I said there was a 3-0. I got it the wrong way around.
Other way around,
okay.
yeah. Well, actually, a lot of us thought Alliance were actually going to win.
I said Navi.
Yeah.
He said Navi. I abstained. I abstained from guessing on this one.
No, I thought you were pretty pro Navi, I must say, Toby.
Yeah, I can't hide it that much.
All right. Either way, we're going to go to a really quick break, and when we come back, we're going to have Puppy joining us for an interview. I know this because he's just there. So we'll be back in a second at the ASUS ROG DreamLeague with the winner's interview with Puppy. See you in a moment.
What's up guys, I am AP and I think that the Rise series of mechanical keyboards is perfect for gaming Dota 2. With 5 macro keys and 3 thumbstick keys, I have a lot more options in my reach to take care of Dota 2's peripheral actions. And if that's not enough, I can bind secondary functions to each key thanks to Easy Shift. This, the high quality Cherry MX key switches and the comfortable wrist rest make the Rise series my choice for gaming Dota 2.
Welcome back to the desk. We're joined by the winner of last game. It's Navi's Puppy. How are you?
Good.
Of course you're good. You just won.
Yes.
You played a lot of Chen.
3 times.
Was it nice that you got to play it? I mean, how did you think they were going to ban it in the final game?
I thought that they wanted the Chen. They weren't realizing maybe I would first pick it and stuff. But who knows, you know, who knows? Sweet.
A 3-0 victory over Alliance. I don't know what's changed between Navi yesterday and Navi today, but you looked a lot stronger today.
I didn't sleep, had some thoughts about Dota, you know, that's how it goes. Just sleep and not sleep at the same time. Just thinking about Dota and thinking about, are you going to lose this game or not? You know, what are you going to do? So you
actually didn't sleep like much last night at all, right? That's
yeah. So it's, I mean, we're all jet lagged and stuff. Fanatics also, everybody's jet lagged with what you're gonna do. You know, we've been in 5 countries in 10 days, so you know we're all crazy.
So if you say you've just been thinking about Dota, if that's the truth, what have you not say learnt here, but what has you kind of realized during this tournament with how the teams are playing?
It's not really nothing much. I just not sat down, I was just laying on my bed and just opened up my mobile phone and checked out all the picks of every team. So I thought I would copy everything of some teams and stuff, but they happened to give us Nakes twice and stuff, so it's like nobody gives us Nakes, so it's like, hey, that's a pretty good strategy I have here with some heroes here, but Nakes wasn't involved, but you know, screw it, okay, let's just play Nakes twice and win the game.
All right.
Well, pretty much it.
Easy, summed it up nicely. Guys at the panel, any questions for?
No, I would pretty much say that the reason that we have some solid picks and stuff, even though I didn't show them right now, they weren't the picks I wanted to do because they gave us heroes that I didn't know they would give us. Still, you know, the back handle of you know that you have a strategy behind you and stuff. Doesn't matter if it's DKs or it doesn't matter if it's Empires and stuff. You still feel good and your team feels like, oh, you know, we have a backbone or whatever. So they'll play good, you know. When this game is all totally psychological, so teamwork is not happening. But if you tell them, okay, guys, 10 minutes and stuff, we're gonna play the strategy and stuff. They're like, yeah, I'm gonna do that, and you're gonna lasso him and shit. I'm ready, right? And then when the game starts, okay, they give us Nakes. Same old, I guess. And, you know, but then everybody's teamwork is up already because they thought, like, it's going to be this game and stuff. But it doesn't matter. Teamwork's already up.
All right. We don't even need to ask you questions. Do you have any questions, guys? I have a couple as well, but...
I only had one question. And because the first 2 games,
important.
you guys seem to be in control pretty much the whole time. I don't really think there's much to talk about there. In the 3rd game, you guys had a Lincoln's on Dundee for a long time. Why not just use it on Funnick whenever you're trying to push with BKB?
Pressure, I guess.
Oh, okay, so fair enough.
I mean, he wanted to do it.
Yeah, okay.
You know,
I actually thought that Havos would buy a Lincoln's at one point because Diffusal is still pretty good because of being able to move track and such.
Diffusal is always good.
Yeah.
No matter what, if the enemy hero gets some kind of a hex or something like that, which Visage could have gotten.
You got to hold the mic further up, nearer the end.
Apparently we got to hold the mic further up so you don't cover the antenna,
and
then hold it further up to your mouth. Apparently that's what they're telling me. Sorry,
it doesn't seem to be helping much.
But I enjoyed it.
I have a question. Puppy, are you playing with a bad finger?
What?
Are you playing with a bad finger?
Yeah, your pinky.
Yes.
Wow.
Does
it affect your game?
You enjoy my Chen?
Yeah, your Chen was amazing.
Are you doing a 3-finger Chen?
No, I'm holding my mouse like this. Look at me. Look at this. This is a nice stable mouse hand and stuff. But look at this. This is like, you know, you don't even want this girl with you. You don't even want this to go home with you and stuff. Anyway, my point is that you know what I did with this hand? I just upped my sensitivity 30%.
Wow.
And that seems to fix it, at least something.
I've got a question. I met Funnick outside yesterday, and I was like, when are we going to see you play Clinks again? He's like, there's, no God Black Dodo.
No chance. No chance at all.
But did you have an idea that you were going to bring Clinks in for Funnick this tournament, or was it just today you were like, okay, this makes sense?
I always wanted to bring him in. It's just that it's
Hold the mic up closer, sorry, to your mouth.
Even closer?
Yeah.
You
Right
got
here?
to actually
Yes,
put
good.
your hand further up the shaft of the microphone. There you go.
Slowly, please.
Just perfect.
That's perfect.
I like the studio, man. Slowly but surely.
So you wanted to bring in Clinks?
I would say that I would always want to pick Clinks, but right now it's played like a carry hero.
Okay.
And Funnick plays the best Clinks in our team. So Forst, as you can see, went like off lane quite many games. And that's pretty much the room we have to create now. We're not used to it. Maybe we're gonna have to speak upon things that you're gonna have to play, a role of an off laner and stuff. But it's always limited if you haven't practiced enough this version and so on and so forth.
All right. Well, we're going to take a look at a couple of replays. Maybe you can stay with us and
Sure, of course.
and explain them. And then, of course, we're going to ask you about your up-and-coming match. So here you have you guys going into the base. S4 has picked up your Funnick.
Yeah.
Did you think how annoying was S4 being there with the Backrider? That must have been your major concern in that part of the game.
Yeah, once he got BKB, he became a real problem. Before the BKB, we didn't really care that much. I mean, in this situation, I always wanted the Aegis to be on Clinks, no matter what. But then other players like Puck and stuff, like Fluff and stuff, should be much more careful. Because I just wanted the Blown to hit the racks and stuff. But no matter what, we shouldn't have won this fight. Even if the Aegis was on Bone Fletcher, we were just under pressure and we wanted to do something because it's just getting to you and stuff. It's getting to you. I have my Kuros, I have my everything. What are you doing? What are we doing? We're going to let them win the game and stuff. And that's pretty much it. So we realized what we should do actually after that. Because to be honest, I think what lost Alliance the game is that they didn't buy a second BKB instantly. Fuck this butterfly or whoever, what you're gonna do, just get your BKB. Because once that BKB was over, fuck me, I even used this first spell, Penitence, on my Chen. It's gonna rip the crap out of this guy. So it did kind of, it just did.
All right, well, we'll take a look at another clip. And of course, that was the base defense that was from Alliance. It was pretty good. And this is where it started feeling really bad for you guys. Funnick actually did take the Rex. And Andy actually said that it felt like this was when you fell apart a little bit, like your defense.
Yeah, Draskul is right. Draskul is totally right.
Sorry?
Draskul, this guy.
He's right, yeah. But you actually come back in to defend here, and it doesn't go well for you guys.
It goes quite well. We actually should have lost the game here pretty much, but at the end of the day, I kill the Batrider, which makes a big deal, to be honest, out of this, because I'm gonna buy back after this, right? Yeah, I am gonna buy back, and pretty much we're all the same 4 heroes are steady and shooting and stuff. We all have our spells up soon, and Bone Fletcher is coming to us. But the fact is that this is super good for us because we're playing 4v5 this time. We're playing 4v5 and we used all of our spells and Batrider's already dead. So in this situation, this death is quite hurtful for us, but he has buyback, as it seems. I remember I started taking creeps and stuff, but he has buyback. So when we defended those Raxes and not lost the game or got thrown and stuff, it's it was a successful defend, but Juggernaut should not have died there in the first place.
All right, Hellos, don't die next time. One more clip for you, puppy.
Really? Let's go, man. I'm ready.
Let's do it.
Let's see this shit.
So the final engagement, S4 jumps in and gets...
Look at this gyro coupling. Just look at the gyro coupling.
4-second BKB.
He has problems now. Look, boom, boom, Penitence, fucking everything. Gone. He's gone.
Poor loader. Didn't even get to use his Satanic. How rude.
He's gone.
And that will be the winning fight, and will send you into the grand final. So a 3-0 victory over Alliance, and the first 2 games very convincing. Last one could have gone either way. You still feel that as well? Could that game have gone either way?
Yeah, it could have. I think Alliance had much more better picks, but if everybody's farming up and everybody's getting like a 60-minute game and stuff, it's all going to depend on who's going to play better at this point of the game. So yeah.
All right, well, there we go. So last question, Fnatic next.
Yeah.
What are you guys going to do in terms of any kind of preparation, or have you already researched them? Is it just relax and then turn up?
Maybe I get to use one of the strategies that I kind of put there and stuff in my note-y thing and stuff.
Are we going to recognize it when it happens, the strategy?
Never, man.
Is
never.
it just going to look like, to me, it might just look like 5 heroes.
It might just look 5 heroes too.
Okay, that's also a good strategy. That's good too. We're going to let you go now because I know that you will probably want to spend some time with the team, get some food and rest up. You've lacked some sleep. We're going to stay on camera just for a little bit more because apparently people have been photoshopping Pyrion with hair, and we're going to be checking out that.
Wow.
It's a highlight.
You can stay if you want to.
I will stay.
Okay.
Okay.
You want to see this?
Okay. So if you move over just a little bit towards me, I believe it will be coming up on the screen here. So we had a competition. We've got some swag from the secret shop, courtesy of Valve. We've got some plushies, t-shirts, and more. And Pyrion, I'm going to let you kind of take us through this.
Who picks the winner?
You.
Oh, God. Okay.
Okay, so this is Pyrion.
Pyrion for axe with an axe, yeah. Well, okay. Yeah, that's okay. Next. No? There's the next one. I'm not quite sure. I think they transplanted the hair from my chin onto my head, which looks a little funky. And for some reason, Draskell is Harry Potter.
That's a really good paint job right there.
Yeah, that's
Like,
awesome.
it's nothing
Well
but MS Paint.
Well, that one got a big cheer. Anyway, next. Well,
this looks good, man.
that does actually look
That
pretty good.
That looks like you in your youth.
Wow.
You could do something with Miley Cyrus right away here.
I could pull that off.
You are pulling it off, don't you see? This is real.
Next up. Well, that's been squished, but I think it's kind of Goku hair.
Where did you get this picture?
People sent them in on Twitter. I don't remember the name of the various people that sent them in, but let's have a look at the next one. That one hasn't quite worked when you stretched it out, but anyway. I like the Robin Thixter one. Well, my friend Shane sent that one.
Yeah, this is actually Shane.
That is Shane has sent that in.
But he's kind of got the competition wrong because he was meant to Photoshop hair on you, but what he's actually done is Photoshop you on hair.
No, I assure you, that's the extent of his skills. That is about as good as it gets from Shane. So I don't know if that's Cher or
He even
someone.
cropped it wrong. There's a little white box down the bottom.
Oh
there.
yeah, he doesn't care. Well done, Shane.
Well done, Shane.
And that is Flazzle, which is Dazzle.
It's you as
flag.
Dazzle.
Yeah, Flazzle. So yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, that one's
Mohawk.
okay.
Mohawk could work.
I quite like the one with me with the actual hair where I'm
like font style.
Yeah, and that's not so much hair.
Do you have hair here? Are you trying to hide your hair?
I guess I've got hair under there or something. It's lich anyway, but.
Well, that's well made.
Where's
I like
that from?
That's from the hotel room in at TI3. I like that one the best. Look at that. I would love hair like that. That's the best one, I think. I'm going to give it to
You're going to go with that one?
Yeah, I'm going to get to that one.
Okay. All right, Pyrion. I'm glad we've got that. There's actually wigs that can do that for you. You don't...
Really?
Yeah.
I'll invest in
Bruno
one.
has contact with everybody.
I'll talk to Bruno.
His hair's not real.
Isn't it?
No, it's not.
I might borrow his.
Okay, so that was our competition. This is what we do when we don't do Dota. Apparently, this is the highlight of the show.
This is pretty great.
Yeah.
I like being here. Stuff, whatever. Take my mic. I'll get the fuck up.
Thank
Bye,
you,
puppy.
puppy. Yeah.
I don't blame him. I'm
I think he
starving.
prefers you without hair. Either way, so it looks like we're at 4:25 now, and we're going to be kicking off the next game at 6, I believe.
7
At
o'clock.
7. Holy moly! Look at that. We get.
Oh wow! So the pre-game is at 7. Game at 7:30.
Yeah, that's late.
Okay. Yeah, that is late.
Blimey.
You had to have half an hour just to chat.
But congratulations to all the people that gave some photoshops.
Yeah, thank you very much for those.
Some really good advice there. Pyrion will probably take it down the hairdresser. Have you ever done that?
Gone to a hairdresser with a sample haircut and said, please give me this for the last 10 years, and it's never worked. Turns out they don't have the technology.
Damn it. It may be in the future. Okay, we really need to go off camera so you guys can get back to sanity and then join us for the next game. It's going to be Fnatic against Navi, a best of 5. Winner will take $25,000, second place $15,000, but I'm sure the money isn't a big effect into how they're going to play. They just want to win the tournament. I know Fnatic are very hungry for it, and Navi look like they're ready to take it as well. So can't predict what's going to happen. You're just going to have to join us here at 7 for the ASUS ROG DreamLeague Grand Finals. See you then.
It's time to extend your domination. Extend your command precision with an 8200 DPI Pro Aim R3 laser sensor. Extend your atmospherics with a fully customizable 4 LED multicolor lighting system with effects. Extend the life and accuracy of your gaming with the Rocket Titan wheel. The Cone XTD Max Customization Gaming Mouse.